All right, sweet. Just a couple of things. Firstly, I under-awarded XP again, so I've just fixed that. And also, I've caught Yao Mei up, because there's got to be some kind of catch-up mechanism. Otherwise, you're just going to be like stuck behind for like the entire campaign at this rate. Because nobody else has taken a day off. Eventually, I was planning on developing the XP system a little bit, so it was like a little bit more interesting, but I haven't had a chance to do that. But we'll see. Secondly, oh man, I was unhappy about the speed of that combat when I rewatched it. Like, I used to in a large battle like that give control over to all of the NPCs, to the players, like the allies. So if I forget to do that again, I don't know why I didn't do it this time. There was no reason. Definitely remind me, because yeah, just at the beginning there, I was like watching it, just going like, oh fuck. Like, so boring. It's just me just going like, this guy does this. But also I modified my surprise mechanic, because I feel like that didn't work very well. For one thing, it sort of like punishes people that actually have a high dex, like a high initiative roll, which doesn't really make sense. Anyway, what else? You can drag someone out of combat, so I wasn't cheesing that. Oh, but actually, I realized something when I was watching back, which is that Reddy could not have both dragged Yao Mei and cast Healing Word, because to drag you got to grapple. But I don't think it would have changed anything really, because I think like you still would have been able to run over there and do Healing Word, but then maybe you would have just copped some of the flaming sphere damage.
Healing Word a bonus action?
Oh, sorry, not Healing Word. Cure Wounds.
Oh,
yeah. And I think that's about it. But just a reminder that please remember that if you use something, make sure you remove it from your character sheet, because there were a couple of instances where people were sort of giving things away or something like that, and weren't subtracting them. But yes, all right. So. What do you all remember from the previous session?
it was like Christmas morning. We were given gifts at our camp. It's quite nice, actually. It's coming along quite good, camp. Quite well.
Yeah.
We had that religious ritual.
Yeah, you did have to sacrifice a chicken.
Just like Christmas morning.
Yeah, don't we all sacrifice a chicken on Christmas Day? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
That's normal.
As God intended.
yeah, of course.
Exactly.
You guys don't do that as well?
That's so normal.
I think Winderos evolved. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Saw the light.
Winderos.
Stepped through the door.
Yeah. There was a wolf as well
Oh yeah.
that Vindaris very kindly tried to help.
Because the Ekin were throwing rocks at it and shooting it with slings.
Bullies.
and then we got into a bit of a scuffle.
Fisticuffs.
You could say that. Hey, I mean, nearly died.
These are the rabbit folk, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called
Karen.
Rabbit Lady. I want to be my friend. She seemed interesting.
Yeah, she nearly died as well.
That's true.
But for the
That's true.
We spared her this once.
definitely not cheesing. Yeah, actually, there was a moment where I was watching back at it where Reddy had to make a decision between going after her. She was on 1 hit point.
She looked too bored to kill too early. And I thought maybe she'd go back and be like, these guys are okay. They didn't slaughter us all, so you know, that was the plan anyway.
Nice. I'm glad.
That's true. Strategic.
Yeah.
And
And we
that
found
was
a hunter's hut,
yeah.
if you would say so, towards the end, to rest up
Yep.
for a long rest.
Did a bit more language learning, and oh yeah, before that you also moved a broken down wagon off the path,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I've got in my notes that the pig folk that was there was looked like it had undergone 1 week of decomposition.
yep, sounds about right, and maybe like was like eaten by some animals, or like at least nibbled at. Yeah, and Yao Mei, you leveled up, so let's go straight away into the level up screen. Ta-da!
Oh my god, it's so cool.
It's awesome.
So, Yao Mei, how did you go about developing your new skills and abilities?
So I think that he's trying to learn from the people around him a little bit in terms of the soft skills, definitely. Interacting with new people is a bit odd for him. He's always a bit sort of off kilter talking to new people. And he's trying to learn the let's just say polite ways of interacting. He's been a little awkward. But in terms of his actual skill, I think the skirmishes that he has seen here and the fact that he nearly died have made him want to be better. He wants to protect this group of people that clearly need it for the tribe back home, and look after the people who have been around him and looking out for him as well as he's been looking out for them at the same time. It's kind of a give and take, I guess. But he's also very concerned about making a new way of life here until they can figure out a way to go home. The loss of the people he knew around him and the fact that he couldn't do anything about it have really hurt, I think is the best way to describe it. He's really looking for a way to make sure that never happens again. And if someone wishes to do this new group harm, he's willing to do anything to stop it.
Well, the more he levels up, the harder it'll be to do it to him.
Yeah, he's getting a lot less squishy, so that's nice.
And he also picked up cartographer's tools proficiency.
Yes, he did.
So
I kind of thought about it as in the time he's been here and trying to establish watches and looking out for this group in kind of coordinating, and through multiple games of charades, he started to rediscover an ability that he never really explored before. But he did once sort of dabble in drawing little maps and sort of, even in just the dirt around his old home, he could kind of scribble out an area where they might be vulnerable to attack. And I feel like that could come in handy when he can't speak to certain groups of people, and trying to share where groups could be established around this new stone building that they're living in, for all intents and purposes. Maybe squatting is a better word. But yeah, I think he's starting to develop an ability there in terms of creating maps and drawing the locales. And I think part of that was trying to create the trails that the group know around the castle, how they got from the beach to the castle, the river, the cave, all of that, and sort of trying to build that into something that's useful. So, yeah. And I think that that's going to come in handy. And part of his development is trying to bridge the gaps where we might not have people who are particularly adept at certain things. Trying to make sure that there's no vulnerabilities within the group in that sense.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely makes sense that you would try to kind of get a sense of this area or get your bearings by doing some mapping. I struggled to find much information on Bronze Age maps. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe they were kind of done on wood or like parchment that's mostly sort of deteriorated, but it makes sense to me that there would at least be some sort of symbolic, did I say Stone Age or Bronze Age? Bronze Age. Some kind of symbolic way of doing that. Anyway, I mean, this is just...
Well, I mean, you could kind of consider like Indigenous Australian art, because they have symbols that signify certain things. So I'm kind of thinking of it like that in a more rudimentary sense. Like if you can get soot and you can draw on a wall, then you can create a big like stone map on the wall of the castle. It kind of helps the group understand where the watches are going to be, where the people are, where they could be, where there could be openings, and trying to block those up.
Yeah, that's really cool. I hadn't thought of that. But I mean, I think I'll take some liberties anyway, because it'll probably be quite difficult to run a D&D game without maps. So we'll see. But yeah,
I'm hoping in time if we can use like bark or parchment and start to create like paints or fine paints or something, that would be more portable.
Yeah.
And create like little versions of the same thing in time.
Nice. All right. And perhaps you're having a dream about map making as you have a little bit of a restless night in this hunting blind. And it's like sometime in the early morning, and it is cold, and there's sort of a moderate wind, but it's a lot colder than the previous day. And you're all sort of like lying as huddled as you're willing to huddle with one another. The Ekin have definitely been a lot more respectful towards you. I mean, you still can't communicate with them verbally, but they've been a lot more respectful to you since the incident with the heron. Particularly Sergeant Mersch. They offer you some water in the morning. Maybe even if they had like some blankets, some spare blankets or large enough blankets, they would share them with you. Yeah, there's a notable change in their mood. Although they also seem somewhat somber, a couple of them especially, given that they lost some comrades in battle. But yeah, you wake up in this hunting blind, this kind of old rickety wooden structure with like branches and leaves that have sort of rotted on the roof. And you kind of look out into this forest. It's got this very crisp smell of early morning, and you can see dew collecting on the leaves everywhere, but not on yourselves because of the hunting blind. And perhaps you hear a lone bird, like a raven or something like that, crying out from a nearby branch. And yeah, these Ekin offer you some water, and they're running low on rations. They eat some of their own and attempt to, they kind of share some with you, but it's not really an especially adequate meal. But they're pretty eager to pick up and get going. What do you do?
I don't think I don't need to do anything, so I'll follow them. I might see if everyone else looks awake.
We can do the long rest. Hit that button, right?
Oh yeah, hit the long rest
I
button.
haven't hit the
Just checking.
long rest button.
I'm like, look at
Actually-
spell slots.
I am gonna cast Mage Armor.
I'm ready to go. Something about me seems different today. Maybe I'm a bit more appreciative of life and all it has to offer. Maybe I smile a bit more. Especially at ready.
You've got a spring in your step.
Yeah.
From memory,
He's appreciating what's going on, I think.
yeah. From memory, I think it was only a day and a half travel to the camp, which are holding out.
That sounds about right.
You mean like to get here so far?
To get to our destination.
Oh right, is that what they told you? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my notes, but I'm pretty sure that's what was said. I don't know where they are.
That sounds about right. That makes about sense.
Well, we know what you mean.
All right. So you climb out of this hunting blind and you begin to follow these Ekin soldiers, and they continue on at a normal pace. It takes about probably to move here only about an hour and a half.
I mean, Darius will definitely like to keep vigilant as well, since they ran into the hair folk.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Sweet. Give me a perception check. Anyone who wants to be vigilant.
While I'm looking, can I also look for something else?
Yep.
'Cause I think-
if you kind of want to, well, it depends what it is, but generally, yeah, if you're going to sort of be vigilant and keep your eyes and ears peeled for hostiles, then you won't be able to focus on searching for something.
Oh, because I was going to say, if we can try and find the things we're after, I think we're looking for medicinal things and food, and there was a few other things that we needed back home. Sorry, I have 3 pages of that fight from yesterday, last session to go through. I'm trying to find the list of things I was looking for. Ironic. Yeah, actually, if Vindaris is looking out for potential attacks, I might just continue that search for any sort of medicinal herbs, anything that can become herbivore rations,
Okay.
anything that would constitute those sorts of things.
So, given that you're following these Ekin through the forest and you're sort of walking in this direct manner to the northeast, it would be quite difficult to look for like a specific. I mean, you can keep your eyes out, but you won't have anywhere near as much luck, unless you have a lot of luck in finding the specific things that you're after.
Yeah, I
But-
don't mind not. I don't mind rolling against sort of a high DC type search, but just I don't want to veer off the path too much and take too much longer off on the trip, but just to see what's around.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
You okay if Reddy's doing the same thing, looking for magic herbs, basically? Or would he just want the one roll?
I think probably in that. Well, seeing as you're both kind of walking together,
Yeah, true.
maybe one of you can roll with advantage. Maybe a Yao Mei if you want to roll again.
Ooh. Thank you.
You unfortunately don't spot any herbs or spices.
I just want to find the 11 secret ones.
11 to go.
No worries. I didn't think I would find anything, to be honest, but worth a try.
But it isn't long before you reach the edge of the forest, and you can see these plains stretching out before you as these trees kind of thin. And you only have to walk for maybe like a couple of kilometers before you reach a dirt path. And it looks very similar to the dirt path that you encountered early on when you first arrived in Ascentus. And you saw that creepy humanoid giant thing eating a horse.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And there it is again! No. Yep.
So we're leaving the forested area. We've left it far behind.
You're just leaving now. Now about.
Okay. Well, would there be any chance that there is a vine, a twisted little vine? Oh. A withered vine anywhere nearby. Just
So a vine would be like a pretty common thing, I think. So you weren't being vigilant either.
no, I was not.
What were you actually looking for, Tara and Reddy, specifically? Because I don't want to say that there might be a vine because it's common without knowing if what you were looking for was common.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for anything super specific. Just like anything that could be turned into food for the herbivores, either for our group or or to take back home.
Yeah.
Or any medicinal like herbs or those mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah,
anything
you don't
like that.
You don't find those things. What were you
fine.
looking for already?
Pretty much just spell components. So specifically was thinking like spruce, mistletoe, shamrock. What's the spell you need a vine for? Because I'm wondering if like Reddy might be hoping for it as well.
Wither and bloom.
Nah, I wouldn't have been looking for a vine then unless you told me.
Well, I'll see if maybe there would be some vines, because that seems pretty common. I think that you could probably find you can find this. You probably can find a climbing vine with these like green leaves. Probably just like climbing along the forest floor and maybe up some trees. You would probably see this from time to time.
Great.
Yeah, it wouldn't be withered. Perhaps it will become withered.
Perhaps I'll age it a bit. Cool.
Yeah, well, yeah. So you just need like one piece of vine. Give me a dex check.
Because I gotta make it into a loop.
Okay. Give me a dex check as you try to sort of rip this vine up from the ground. Ooh.
Oh dear.
As you were trying to tear this vine up from the ground, you notice that it kind of it sort of rubs against your hands and your arms, and you're able to pull off a piece of this vine and put it in your backpack. I mean, you can take really as much as you need. There's like a fair bit of vine, but you start to develop a rash on your arms and hands underneath your fur.
Oh.
Because of this, I'll see now how long this rash is going to last. It's going to last 3 days.
3 years.
That's a bad allergic reaction.
During
3 years.
these 3 days. Did I say 3 years? 3 days. Oh, sorry. Reddy said that. During these 3 days, you have, because of this itchy rash, disadvantage on dex checks and charisma checks.
Oh my god.
Because it's hard for you to like do stuff with a rash, and also people will look at you and go like, ugh.
Oh no. My hands, my finest feature.
You do feel that there might be some way of alleviating these symptoms if you had access to, some kind of healer's kit, perhaps.
All right, very good.
Is this something that Twig would be hiding from everybody? Is it something you could hide potentially?
No, I think he couldn't hide it. He'd be itching his hands. He'd be kind of like blistered. Then he'd be like, ooh.
Okay. Adrian, with my proficiency with the herbalism kit, would this be something that I could potentially recognize as something to do with my herbalist abilities? Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it, but...
Recognize the vine itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that...
Or recognize the rash from it as something that potentially I would know the plant.
Yeah, I'll say that you think this is poison ivy.
Okay. So at some point I might just like spy it and look at it for a little bit too long until Twig notices, and then just quickly like not pretend I wasn't looking. But just kind of keep looking every now and then, just like, oh, poor thing.
And if we sort of keep in the same marching order as previously,
What was it, big to small? Small to big.
small to big.
Small
Did
Did that work well?
It's funny because small to big, in perspective, we all look the same height. Like
Exactly.
the ones at the front of the same size of the Dara.
If you're like far enough away from
Force perspective.
Well, we're all looking for stuff, and like Twig's scratching, so that's, I think, potentially the case.
Yeah.
The Ekans look back, they just see one figure.
I've got a feeling that as we're walking past, Vindaris taking the last post, he would have noticed Twig, like, trying to yank at this vine, and probably caught his attention, like needing some extra muscle. And by the time I got there, he was already
Covered.
scratching. So Vindaris is actually looking at Twig and trying to work out what's going on, and might notice this rash, and he would like to lay on hands for 5 healing points to remove that
Whoa.
the poison.
Whoa.
Lay on hands.
Lay on hands, yeah. To neutralize one poison's effect.
Interesting. So, I was thinking of this as a disease rather than a poison, but I think that
that does diseases.
it does disease as well. Oh, okay, sweet. Oh, okay. In that case, but now that I think about it, a poison. I mean, it would be like some kind of poison that would be. So anyway, yes, that works. You can alleviate the symptoms.
So
of
he
that.
might do like
Whoa.
and then you hear this deep like hum coming from Vindaris, and just like put his hands on Twig's shoulders and lay on hand for 5 points.
Whoa, Twig is gonna be like absolutely overjoyed, just like giving Darius a big hug and and be like, thank you. I don't know, wipe something like that.
Nice. I thought you were gonna have to use one of your 5 healer's kit charges. You outsmarted me. All right. So you pass into these plains, and you begin following this dirt path to the south, and probably only takes you an hour to travel to this next hex, given that the terrain is very easy to follow. You're just following this path. There's just these grasslands to the east, with the occasional tree and kind of rocks and things, and these long swaying grasses, and you can still see the forest to the west as you walk down here. And I'll say that you can pretty much continue following this path pretty uneventfully for at least another hour.
Yeah, since there's nothing around, I think Yao Mei will also turn his attention to just keeping an eye out on anything potentially approaching, especially if the grass is especially tall. Just keep ears out for any shuffling that doesn't sound like wind.
Okay. Give me a perception check for that, if you would. And... Alright. But, ironically, although you are paying less attention, perhaps who has the highest so maybe Reddy, you happen to notice as you walk along this path that there are some mushrooms growing alongside it, maybe around some rocks and in some sort of moist leafy patches and pieces of wood and such.
What sort of mushrooms are we talking?
Give me a nature check.
Nature.
Five. These mushrooms, you're not really sure what they are.
Yeah, I'll scoop some up. I'll make sure to take some mycelia.
Oh yeah.
That's the companion patch.
Yep, you can do that. So that, just making sure you guys add these things to your inventory. What was that for again? Oh, that was for that thing that I created.
One you made, yeah.
I'm curious to see if that ever gets used and if it is just completely absurd.
Can I ask, what's that shortcut for Foundry? It's like control space or something where you can search stuff? Or is this only when you're creating the character, maybe?
Oh, I think I've probably turned it off.
Okay.
To sort of limit, because it goes into my computer and accesses all kinds of other things, like other files and things.
Yep. All good then. All right.
What were you trying to get with it?
Honestly, I don't know. I remember trying to do it like a couple of weeks ago, maybe when I was leveling up or something.
Oh, okay. Just let me know if you need something and I can drag it in. These mushrooms, you probably get... Just trying to work out like how many of these you would get.
Whoa. Oops.
You can probably get enough for... Seeing as you're... I mean, do you stop and... It might be difficult to kind of stop and like hunt around for more of them, given that these Echen are pretty eager to move along. So I'll say that you find enough for one... You find one unprepared herbivore ration worth of mushrooms.
Of unidentifiable mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mystery mushrooms. Concerning mushrooms.
I like the idea that Reddy just found some mushrooms, has no idea what they are, and they're like, yeah, this is the 1-for-1 ration.
Not for me to eat for today.
Awesome, thank you.
Alright. And you continue following these Echen south for another 5 kilometers. And it is approaching midday at this point. And how far have we traveled? 4. I better keep track of that. And I'll just see if... Yeah. Alright, so... Where's some... As you sort of reach the crest of this hill, you can see this plume of smoke curling upward from the south. And you can see that the ground is rising steadily from the tree line to the west and up to this hill that's taller, significantly taller than the one that you're standing on, and it's quite a large sort of rocky hill, and this path that you're walking on, as you get closer to the source of this plume of smoke, you can see that the path leads up this hill and directly towards a sturdy wooden palisade built of logs that have been sharpened to sharp points and lashed together with hide ropes. And you can see all these spiky wooden abattises anchored into the side of the hill. And there is this relatively modest, but for you it would be fairly large wooden fort. And as you approach, you can hear the clang of metal on metal echoing from within. And there's a fortified wooden gatehouse that's like standing on each end of this fort. And you think you can kind of see maybe in the distance that this path continues on past the fort. Maybe it sort of comes out the other side. And there are these like heavy wooden doors at the front of this fort, with all these spiked logs everywhere. And you can see these 2 tall watchtowers within. also built of logs, and they're kind of rising above the walls. And as you draw closer, you see armed Echen soldiers standing on either side of this gatehouse, of these doors. And you wait briefly as the Echen interact with these guards, and they nod and wave everyone through, and you can enter what you assume must be Yalnikishla. And you can follow this dirt path through the center of this outpost, and there are rows of hide tents everywhere. Some of them are simple wooden structures with thatch roofs, and there's this like raised wooden platform that kind of goes along the walls, and you can see like ladders, and there's a bunch of guards walking along these platforms with bows and arrows and things. And inside there's this large open area that's sort of carpeted with this hard-packed earth, and you can see soldiers training with wooden practice swords, and other archers like firing at straw dummies. And in the middle of this collection of buildings, there's this larger square wooden building that looks to be some sort of barracks. And there's even another building that's kind of adjoined to it, where you can hear it. That seems to be the source of this metal on metal clanging sound. And you can this little building, this little connected building is open, and you can see somebody in there, kind of working away at some bronze weapons or something. Some of these Echen kind of stop and like stare at you as you come in here. Have you got your bronze weapons hidden? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're all sheathed.
Yep.
We're not openly like holding them out like, haha.
I mean, the Echen that you're with know that you have these weapons, but yeah, you can keep them pretty well hidden, but you still cop some stares from these soldiers in this fort as you walk through here, and you approach this barracks or whatever it is in the middle, and you can see that actually tethered to this long leathered rope is this giant creature that looks like a sort of a big bulbous lizard with like kind of an armored shell and this sort of weird looking kind of almost like a helmet. The shell kind of comes for it's basically like a giant armadillo that is like, it has like a leather saddle on its back, and it's like tied next to this fort. And there are two wooden standards on either side of this barracks that are supporting these wooden circles with spikes all around them. You saw a similar symbol on top of the standard that the platoon of Echen were originally carrying when they first showed up. And some of the Echen that you're with part ways, and a couple of them remain, and Sergeant Mersch sort of motions for you to wait for a moment beside this barracks. And he goes inside while a couple of these other Echen kind of stand around. Not sort of too stressed, you've developed a pretty good rapport with them by now. And you wait for a few minutes until Sergeant Mersch appears again. There's like a leather flap on the front of this wooden barracks, and he kind of pushes out and then beckons for the four of you to enter. do you do?
Onwards.
I guess we enter.
Enter cautiously.
All right, so you enter this barracks, and you can see as you kind of walk in here, the dirt is like covered by these animal fur rugs, and there are various decorations in here. What look like, like shields and weapons on the walls, spears and things. There's this like off-white flag that's hung on the back wall that has another symbol of this many spiked circle like painted on it in dark paint. And you see this big wooden table in the middle of this room, and there are a few Ekin standing around, and there's a bunch of stools, like wooden stools, kind of clustered around this table. And on this table, Yao Mei, you in particular, you would recognize that there are a bunch of what look like maps. Some of them are painted on thin pieces of wood, and others are designed on like vellum and leather and that sort of thing. And various interesting tools also catch your eye, Yao Mei. You think that they have to do with map making. You sort of just figure this must be the case. There's like some sort of bronze engraving stylus, and like there's like actually some of these little pots of like pigment paint probably, and you can see some like animal hair brushes and things like that scattered around. Maybe there's a pair of wooden compasses, and behind this table, kind of in the center, staring at you as the others kind of on either side of the table sort of turn in your direction, is this particularly short but stocky Ekin, and he's got dark fur and black spines, and he's got these beady black eyes, this long pointed snout. And he's wearing leather and bronze scale mail with spiked bronze pauldrons, and he's got this bronze short sword and also maybe like an axe hanging from his belt. And he's wearing this long fur cloak, and he's got feathers coming from the shoulders, and also like several small bird skulls on a leather strap, like a necklace around his neck. And he just kind of stares at you, like waiting expectantly as you enter. And Sergeant Mersch kind of goes and like speaks to him briefly and turns to you and sort of says like, eh?
Okay. Twig is gonna sort of sidle behind the large Vindaros and try and quietly do the motions and the words, speak the words for the tongues bind room, and maybe I'll touch Vindaros to grant him the power.
All right.
Okay. So
you got to roll to see if you can cast it.
All right. Normal.
I think 13 was what you needed, maybe.
It's been everything. I think every time it's been 13.
Wow.
Yeah, it's happened.
Where is this? I always forget how this works.
I was,
Oh yeah, 10 plus the spell's level.
Yeah.
So yeah, 13.
Oh yes. Whew.
Nice. You are able to successfully cast this spell on Vindaros, and as you're kind of reaching out from behind him, sort of touching him and like channeling, sort of, I guess you're holding this this page and like reading this rune, because you would have to like kind of pull it out and unravel it to look at the rune.
Yes.
The energy from this rune disappears. You draw it out and cast it at Vindaros, and the rune itself kind of goes dark, and as you're in the middle of doing that, Lexitor Ophis Glosser quickly like scurries into the room from behind you and just sees you doing it.
What? Ah!
But he's just like, oh yes.
Oh, what was that?
But he sees this energy passing in to Vindaros, and he kind of looks at you, Twig, and then looks at Vindaros and says, "Can you understand me then?"
Ah, nice to see you again.
Yes, very. I am glad you have come, for I'm interested to hear more about this strange land from where you hail. But perhaps we can talk another time. May I introduce you to Captain Iskender Zaglo of Yalnikishla? And he sort of moves into the room and indicates this short, stocky Ekin. He says,
Sorry, could you just repeat the name?
Captain Zaglo?
That's
Captain
right. Thank
Iskender
you.
Zaglo.
Iskender?
Iskender.
Iskender. Okay, got it. Thank you.
And he says to Captain Zaglo, this strange-looking individual, you should be able to communicate with him now. And
I am a mastodon. Pleasure to meet you, Captain Zaglo.
Captain Zaglo sort of furrows his eyebrows. He barely has any eyebrows. Says, yes, welcome. Sergeant Mercer tells me that you helped to eliminate some of those pesky rabbit folk. I must give you my thanks for helping my people, for he tells me that they may not have survived without your help.
Unfortunately, a few good Ekin also fell along the way.
Indeed. And they will be missed, for it is neck and neck in this place. And daily we have to fight these pests, while we are just trying to clear the area of insectoids and tree spawn and other savage creatures. But so what brings you here? Is it your friends who have been kidnapped? I'm assuming.
Yeah, correct. And besides being washed up ashore on this strange land and trying to survive, we've now heard word that our friends have been kidnapped. And at the same time, I would like to convey it to the party as well. Any information back and forth. Do you mind taking a seat? Can we take a seat and... It's been a bit of a travel and a rough road to get here.
He motions for you to take one of these stools. There are only 3 stools available.
I make sure everyone else sits.
Yeah, Vindaris will make sure that our AMA actually sits in front of the map as well.
Oh, good. I'm going to stare at that for like a good hot minute
Yeah.
and look at the tools.
and Vindaris will just possibly take a knee, because he's probably the same height as everyone else.
Yeah, this is probably a fairly small room. You're probably like nearly reaching the
or
ceiling.
even sitting on the floor with his arms.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yes. Take a seat. What is it that you would like me to do for you?
I would like to convey that information also to the like our party as well. So, guys, let me know if you need me to translate, pass on any information. We've heard word that some of our kind, the refugees, have been taken and held captive. We'd like to set them free, bring them back to their herd, as you can say. In saying that as well, we've made camp, as you heard, at the castle, and we've cleared those insectoids from those premises as, I believe, a temporary solution, but we're still struggling to find food and really dig our roots into this new land. Is there any way that you could assist us?
We do not have enough food here to support 100 or 200 people. We can potentially assist somewhat. It came back to me that you were looking for perhaps some kind of work. But we feel also that we have already assisted you by allowing you to stay temporarily on the king's land without paying taxes.
And we've also helped with clearing out those pesky insectoids from those lands. So it seems like you've scratched my back, I've scratched your back.
You yourself would be scratched if you attempted to scratch my back.
Points
But
taken.
yes.
Points taken.
And you would take my point as well.
I like you.
Yes. Yes, you could call us. You could call us in your debt. Perhaps we would have been even if it were not for the fact that you had helped fight the Heron with my soldiers. Because of that, I am willing to overlook the fact that the lot of you carry bronze weapons which have been outlawed. My sergeant tells me as much.
Apologies. These are new laws that we're dealing with on these new lands. So if it caused any offense, I'm sure that we could make amends for that as well.
Make amends. Well, perhaps. Perhaps. I am certainly willing to tell you what I know about where we think these rat folk might be. We could not communicate with your tribe of wanderers, but we were able to glean fairly easily that some of them had been taken, and the rat folk have been a major problem in the northeast of late. But we here are unable to do anything about it. At Yalnikishla, we are stationed here to deal with the Ghost Veil.
Is there any, as he points to the map in front of him as well, is there any other provinces or areas, forts that you hold on the way to that northeast that we could stop past as a refuge if required?
Any free maps?
And possibly, if you have a copy of this map, a duplicate that we could use to navigate.
And while he's doing this as well, would I be able to try and memorize some of the maps in front of me?
Memorize them, yes. To some extent, yeah.
I'm thinking especially around the castle and all the way up to this fort, if there's any, or down to this fort, I suppose, since it's south, if there's any sort of major routes, any other rivers, any other bodies of like water or potential places where we could find food.
Well, I'll show you what the map. As he's kind of talking about these rat folk, he sort of points at this particular map on the table, and maybe he even kind of, it's like a thin sort of plank of wood that has this map painted on it, and perhaps he even slides it over in your direction. And that looks like this.
Yeah.
And he says to you, Vindaros, as you can see, Uzun Mizrak is near Khalidin Forest, but it is some way to the south from where we believe these rat folk may be located.
Okay, so I'll say it that's a fort there. Who is the captain of this fort?
He tells you the name of the captain at this fort. Perhaps it is,
Zodge.
Yes, that would be Captain Uslu, Tolga Uslu.
Thank you. Are you on good speaking terms with that captain? If we happened to stumble across that fort, we could say that you sent word as a token of a friendship.
It was a token of friendship from me to you that I allowed you to even come here. What business do you have at Uzun Mizrak?
Oh, just in case we need to find refuge along the way to possibly rescue our friends from the rat folk. These lands are very strange to us, and we might need some assistance along the way or direction.
Yes. Well, it is true that they might have a better idea of where the rat folk are located. Although, again, I do not think the rat folk will go that far south, as those areas are well patrolled. I can send the message with you in order to ensure that you will not be treated with hostilities if you go to Uzun Mizrak.
That sounds very thoughtful. Or maybe even a note with your creed, a stamp on it. That would be much appreciated.
Yes, I can have a small note carved for you.
And we've noticed these open plains, they seem, even though they seem very open and sparse, I believe there might be some dangers ahead. What are the main dangers across these plains that you have trouble with?
There are still many wild creatures in these areas. There are, in particular, trolls are very dangerous.
Also, these hairfolk that we've came across on the way here, they seem to be causing you quite some trouble. Can you tell us more about their objectives?
They refuse to bend the knee to the great King Smorgon the Ravenous. These are his lands. We have claimed them for him. But they are holed up somewhere in Ghost Vale. And they refuse to leave or to swear allegiance. They fight us instead. We are simply trying to bring civilization to these wild areas. It would be better for them if they would simply go along with the wisdom of King Smorgon. But no, they must behave in this petulant manner. But they are stupid, unintelligent, low folk. So it is not that surprising, and perhaps once we find the location of Herrenhold, we will wipe them out entirely. So it will no longer matter.
I assume Vindaris is just translating for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I might just try and grab his attention and just be like, what about weaknesses? The rats and the heron.
Do these, in particular, rats and heron, have weaknesses? Or at their compounds or forts?
We cannot find Herrenhold. It is rumored to be somewhere in the Ghost Vale, above the Andavega River. We have many probes looking for it in the forest. If you hear word of it or see any evidence of it, I would appreciate it if you bring it to me. As for the rat folk, I cannot say. We do not know where their hideout is. Only
about,
that it is roughly estimated to be somewhere east directly from here. Because they tend to come out of the west part of Kaliden Forest and attack merchant and travelers along Smorgon's road.
How do they fight?
Do they... how
Like
do they fight
cowards. Sorry. He waits first for you to translate and then he says
Okay,
that.
thanks.
Intent specifically is, do they use like pack tactics? Do they, are they very protective of each other? How do they sort of interact with one another in a fight? Because we've seen how the herons sort of band together. They will protect each other, as will we. But is there anything special or unusual that the rat folk would do instead, or as well as?
Your headphones seem to be bugging out, unless it's me.
Yeah, no, they are a bit funky tonight. That's why I keep like muting, unmuting. I'm turning it off and on. It's annoying.
Lame. Assuming you translate Vindaros?
Yes.
He says, yes, they attack in packs. Like pat rats, the pat rats that they are. Pack rats that they are. They are rumored to be led by a bandit warrior, a woman named Skara Dreadclaw. She rose to power because, and I do not know if I believe the stories, but supposedly she has some kind of giant mutant claw, which is why she is known as the Dreadclaw. And she's also known for her uncanny ability to move into Smorgon's road and then slip away without being seen. And it is her growing legend that is probably creating most of the trouble, for she is uniting many of the otherwise disparate groups of rat folk that live in Kaliden Forest. And we believe that is why they have become such a problem in recent times.
Typical rat's behavior.
Exactly.
Well, I think we're about to start our own legends from our end. For
Good luck with
strange
that.
travelers. Also, King Smorgon. Whereabouts does he take residence? In the
King
area?
Smorgon,
Smorgon.
in Gir,
Apologies.
to the north. The capital city, the Susken capital.
It must be a privilege to set sight upon.
I have not myself been there. It is quite
there-
far to the north. You would have to follow along Smorgon's road to Fort Kaliden and then cross the River Reyos, and then continue north.
Is there a map on the table that has the capital city on it? It's in some way that's obvious, or are they pointing at it?
No, you don't see a map of that area.
Damn.
might ask Vindaris to ask if there are any other groups that have not sworn fealty apart from the rat folk and the heron.
There are a variety of smaller tribes and communities who are in different situations. Some of them remain independent for the time being. Why do you wish to know this?
These are strange lands. I would like to get to know the feel of the land. Who occupy these areas and
Who to
what
be
we could be up
wary
against.
Who to be wary of? These areas are becoming safer because of King Smorgon and the alliance with the Ekin and with Queenspire. There is less to fear in this region now. I cannot say specifically who to look out for. I would suggest approaching communities with caution. There are various Ungul settlements and also Minotaurs living in the plains, as well as some Felid communities and other groups. Also, the Ketri live in Khalidin Forest. They are squirrel folk. They are currently undergoing negotiations, well, they would call it that, with King Smorgon, for they have resisted for some time. But we believe, at least the reports say, that they may wish for his protection now, particularly due to these increases in the banditry in the area.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I'd like to ask my companions, is there anything else that we'd like to ask Captain before?
Any tools?
Yeah.
that they can
Vindaris
spare?
would also like to ask if we could, if you have any supplies that you could spare, in particular, some tools, water skins, possibly, before we head east to remove these rat folk and bring back our companions to our compound.
Yes, I might be able to help you to some extent, but before I do, perhaps I could ask you a question. I was informed by Lieutenant Barak that you have a Suskin chest that belongs to the Suskin. Is that true?
Correct.
But you were unable to open it, for you had misplaced the key, apparently.
Correct.
Have you found this key?
I made my own key.
I take your meaning. That chest contained taxes from a nearby Ungul village in the Ghost Vale. It was being carried by an envoy, a tax collector. And, I will be wanting that chest soon.
Yes.
Only the envoy knows what it contains, though. But, yes. As in what it contains specifically. But if it is not returned to us, then we must consider the village of Verdalade unpaid in their taxes. That is the Ungul village that I speak of.
That's fine. I would strongly suggest that you wait until we return to our compound, because we are aware of this deal, and the people in charge there might see it as a hostile removal of the chests. So we're more than happy to bring that chest, or not bring the chest, but bring the Ekans to. It's quite heavy chest. We can send word once we return to come and collect the chest.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I do not personally care about the contents themselves, even if you wanted to keep them. But you would have to go and speak to the Ungul. I will give you some time to return it. Otherwise, I suppose I will have to extract the taxes in whichever way is most convenient, either from you or the Ungul. But yes, I will grant you more time.
Thank you. Thank you for your hospitality and your time.
Are you still looking for work?
We are.
Because actually, it comes to mind, speaking of the Ungul village, Verdelaide, that the druid there has actually asked for help. Apparently the tree spawn have stolen something from them, some kind of religious icon. And the village is under King Smorgon's protection, but the Akan are too busy dealing with rabbit folk, rebels and insectoids to help. If you did want to deal with this problem for us, I would let you keep the contents of the chest as payment. And I would even consider the Ungul village as having paid up to date as well. So that is another option.
Vindaris looks to his party. Yes, we'd like to take you up on that offer.
If you follow the path that led to the Lonely Way being the road that Yalnikishla is built on, if you follow that path back through the Ghost Vale, it will lead to Verdelaide. As for the aid, I can send you to the Infirmary, the field hospital. If you speak to the surgeon there, they might be able to give you some blankets and perhaps some medical equipment.
Ooh.
I can also send someone to the kitchen, perhaps to fetch some rations if we have any spare.
Very much appreciated.
To get to the field hospital, it is just back out through the flap and to the left. Past a couple of the tents, and it is there on the left. Left again. But not left again. That would be a circle, and you'll find yourself back here. Don't do that. No, not right. Left.
He turns to Opus.
Do they not listen to what I tell them?
Yao Mei might also try and grab Vindaris' attention and say, if we could grab map-making tools, that might also help.
Would you happen to have any more parchment or bark with some map-making tools that you could spare so we could document this journey?
And potentially hidey holes for the other ones.
Correct. And mark out any folk that aren't complying with these laws.
Yes, very good. Well, for starters, I can give you this map. You may keep it.
Points at this map, which I'll put in your handouts. You should be able to see it now.
As for some tools,
He turns to one of the Ekin standing nearby, who is actually like holding a lot of these small pots of paint and stuff, and brushes and things are actually kind of on this table in front of this guy. He's actually wearing like a long brown robe. Also an Ekin. I suppose the robe is, and all of their clothes must be tailored in some way to allow their spines to come out the back. Which must also be the case with Reddy, with his shell.
They're all just backless.
Yeah.
They're just wearing really nice fancy dresses that are like super low back.
Yeah.
Super low back.
Tied around the neck, I guess.
Halters.
Yeah. And this individual looks at you and sort of squints his eyes, like he looks a little bit like uncertain, maybe even a bit bothered by this. But turns back to the captain and nods, and he walks past you and like leaves the building for a moment. And Captain Zaglo says, "My friend here believes that he has a spare set of tools that yes, we can give you."
Thank you.
And,
That will come in handy.
You can wait a moment, and this robed Ekin will return and donate some tools to Yao Mei. I'll put them in your inventory.
Thank you.
Vindaros is making small talk. I like what you've done with this place. It's a lot roomier on the inside than the outside for us mastodons.
It is built for practicality, but I suppose also some of these shields and this curtain behind me. Perhaps that is about pride. The pride that we feel for ourselves and for the land that we are helping to civilize.
Guys, are we ready to head off now?
Before you go, the matter of those bronze weapons.
Oh, yes.
I will give you a temporary license to carry these weapons.
Thank you.
You have caught me on a good day, and as I said, I am very grateful that you helped against the Heron. Perhaps we can develop a better relationship over time. I do not know what will happen with the castle ruins where you stay. We are still waiting on word from the king in that regard. But if you are willing to work with us, I would appreciate the help. So I will give you this temporary pass. You will only need one. He nods to one of the Ekin that's standing on the other side of the table, who picks up this like small square tablet made out of tin and hands it to you.
Ah. We haven't seen it.
Very.
And it's got
Shiny.
probably embossed in it this same symbol that was on the head of Ophus's, of Lexidor Ophus Gloss's staff, which is like a circle, basically like a circular, like a cornucopia that nearly forms like a circle, like that, or like that, like a broken circle. That would be embossed on this piece of tin, and maybe there's also like something more to it, like a couple of swords crossed in the middle, and some patterns around the edge.
If anyone asks, you can show them this. It will allow you to carry these weapons with impunity, but I would have you return it to me after you have used the weapons to save your friends. And
Thank you.
at that point, you should also surrender the weapons to me at Yalnikishla here.
Thank you. If you don't mind me asking, why are these bronze weapons so important?
They are powerful tools, and we do not want them to be in the hands of the uneducated and the stupid.
Yes, they are quite powerful. It takes a lot of craftsmanship and skill I can see in these tools, in these weapons.
Indeed. I wouldn't get any ideas about making them. We guard their secrets closely. The secret of bronze was left to us by the old gods. The walking gods, the tall beings.
And it is a secret to keep close to your chest.
Indeed.
Thank you
Not
for this
too close.
privilege. Bindaris doesn't convey that. No.
Pointing. Too pointy.
Well, good luck on your quest to save your friends. I will see you back here.
Thank you for your time once again, Captain.
Now I am busy, if you please.
It indicates for you to leave.
Left, but not the right.
And not left again.
And not left again.
I can draw you a map now.
Better write down Captain Tolga Uslu. So you can leave the barracks and head left past a couple of tents and then left again. And you find what looks like some kind of field hospital or infirmary, which is just like, I guess, this larger sort of pavilion where there are a few people that are... Maybe as you walk in here, you like hear like this Ekin like screaming in pain as these two like surgeons are like sawing his leg off with this like bronze saw. There's like blood going everywhere. And you can yep.
Are there any bronze tools just kind of left out in the open and unattended if people are busy working on someone?
Like bronze, yeah, there would be probably bone scalpels and maybe like another bronze saw, something like that.
Can I try and swipe something?
You can give me a sleight of hand check.
This is probably a bad choice, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You can give me a sleight of hand check. Oof. 16. I'll say that you can swipe a small bronze saw.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just try and like get everyone else to kind of stand right in the middle and like turn away a little bit, like I'm just marveling at the place. Take my bag off. There's something in there.
I was going to
Tuck
say
it in.
your netted bag. You place it.
No, I got an
but you can
actual
see.
bag
No, I'm
now.
only joking. I'm only joking.
An actual bag now, thank goodness. But I'll try and turn the saw in such a way that it's not gonna like stab out, and it's not gonna cut through the bottom and like fall out. I'll
Wait,
try-
of the
I'll try and place it in very
bag?
gently.
Of your
Yeah.
bag?
Yeah.
You won't be able to put it in your bag because
Too
the
big.
well, no, just because it is made out of fishnet, so it will just like cut through the bag.
No, but I have an actual bag.
Yeah.
Oh, you have an actual
I have
bag
an
now.
actual bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Oh,
I don't know. I thought I put it in there.
because there was
Yeah, I
one
thought I
person that didn't have a
spread out.
bag, and I thought it was you because you had your mesh bag. So
Oh, yeah, that might be
Reddy's-
true. Maybe I'll try and put it in someone else's bag. Let's just go with that, because I don't have it in my inventory. I would have added it if I had it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go with that. I'll try and put it in, like, Mindaris' bag or something.
Okay. I'll say you can do that with the same sleight of hand check. Oh man, there's something up with this module that like lists what you're doing. It seems like
Yeah.
every time,
He keeps on, whenever I open my character sheet.
yeah, it just like prints everything. I've recently upgraded to the
Yeah.
new Foundry, and so there are some modules that aren't working properly, but yeah. Just have to put up with it for now. But yeah, make sure you note that in your character sheet. I have actually established a handout in the handouts folder, which you may have noticed, called Lost Items. Those are items which you haven't noted, and so they have been lost on the way.
Love that. I'll go back
No,
through
the flute.
I think the flute was like one of the first things you guys found.
Surely we've got a bard somewhere who found a flute. And is back at the castle just playing up a storm.
I'll add the bone saw in Vindaros's equipment. He go, wait, hey, there, get this.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of whisper to him, be like, you have something in your bag. Shh. Even though no one can understand me anyway.
Wait, no, Vindaros can, right?
No, everyone
Yeah.
except Vindaros.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Yeah, true.
Yes, what a lovely day it is today.
All right, but you are able to find the sort of head surgeon, who perhaps is actually just standing over this surgery that's going on, but not doing anything, just like as if he's like sort of instructing a younger student in the ways of bone sawing. And he sort of looks up at you. Yes?
Oh, hi, we've been sent by the captain. He mentioned that we can...
Quick, out with it. I don't have time. I've got to cut off a leg.
Sorry for holding up. We can actually use some supplies, any spare supplies that you have. He said to help yourself.
Help yourself, he said. That sounds
Yes.
strange. We
We're
need
on a
all of
mission.
this equipment.
Oh no, just any excess spares that you have. We're on a mission. We're about to head east to remove these rat folk from these lands. So we're just trying to stock up.
Yes, all right. What do you need? I have a couple of spare items. I have a spare bone sword if you need that.
Oh, that's
Oh, it seems to have been misplaced. Oh well, you can't have that.
okay.
I can spare one of these healer's kits.
That sounds good.
He says, one moment. He like points at the person on the table whose leg is like half cut off. One moment, you, and keep it down.
Do they also
They stop
have
soaring
spare-
as he like turns around and like walks a couple of meters and like rummages around in this like crate and like comes back with this healer's kit. All
Do
right,
they also have
resume.
poison kits or poisonous kits at all? That would be helpful for us medicinally.
I'll convey that as well.
No, we have no such thing. But you can have some blankets. Here. He hands you a stack of like 4 blankets.
Ooh.
Thanks.
I will take those off him and say, I will put them in your bag. I put them in his bag very
Thank you.
carefully so that the sore is hidden even better.
He screeches at like one of these surgeons like, no, you're cutting into the knee.
Okay, guys, let's back out. Thank you very much.
Kitchens. Where are the kitchens?
Thank you.
On the other side. Go back
up
the
the
way
good
you
work.
came.
Let's head to the kitchens.
Okay, you can leave this marquee and head back the way you came, past the barracks, and in between many of these tents and some smaller wooden buildings. There's a bunch of Ekin soldiers walking around and again kind of like looking at you strangely. And you don't have to go very far to find that there is another... this would be, I think, also an open building, but it's made of wood. It's just this kind of long, like large structure that's just basically like a wooden shelter. Like a marquee, but just made out of wood with a flat roof. And you can just walk, you can walk in here and there's a bunch of like trestle tables and things, and there are some Ekin eating in here. And there's a section at the back that's been, where like a sort of a counter has essentially been constructed out of crates and things like that, with like planks of wood stacked on top of them to create like tables. And there is behind that this large fire pit, a couple of fire pits, and they have hanging there some, you know, pots that are like boiling some soups and gruels and things in there. And there is this really big, like muscular Ekin that's like chopping up some meat on the top of one of these benches, and just says, "Yes," but doesn't look at you as you come in.
Sorry for the interruption. We've been sent by the captain to replenish some of our supplies before we head off east.
What
Thank
of
you.
it? What of it?
Well, sorry, I missed that. What of it?
What of it?
Yes, if you got some spare water skins, some rations, that would be very much appreciated. The captain sent us to pick them up on the way through.
A herbalism kit.
Herbalism kit,
He glances at you.
A what?
herbs and spices,
No.
11 of them.
No, no
Okay.
time for that.
What
look
are you
at one of the
cooking there?
pots.
It actually smells quite nice. This is a soup similar that we had in our compound that we will be afraid to drink.
Meat soup.
Meat soup. Nice.
Elk.
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 It's very exotic.
Auntie.
Yes.
He's just
Water
chopping
skins.
this big
Water
red
skins.
bone.
Point. Rations. Any spare rations? Herbivore, carnivore rations.
Only have meat.
But you he like turns around and like barks at this young Ekin. This young Ekin boy. Do we have any rations left? The boy like goes into some of these crates that are kind of behind this front bench area, sort of rummages through them, and turns back to this cook or this butcher, who's just still just chopping at this slab of meat, this big bone in it. And the boy sort of like nods and comes back with, he's got like a couple of these rations. This cook says like, looks at them, kind of counts them. He says like, no, too many. The boy sort of like takes a bunch of them back, and this cook will hand over to you like, here you go, 2 each.
Thank you.
But they're all carnivore rations.
I'll still pass them to Twig and Reddy as well to hold on to. Do you have any water skins?
Oh yes, water skins.
Full-
Yes.
6. Spares.
Do you want to add them all, Twig? Or
Yeah, add them all.
We have a couple of empty ones. Here you go. He gives you. Wait, where'd you get 6 from? Did I say 6?
Is it 8?
yeah.
Yeah, 8. I was asking for 6 water skins instead of 4, so that we had some spares.
Is what 8? Oh, the rations.
Yeah.
2 each.
Oh, right. He hands you 3 water skins, but they're empty. You can take these.
Thank you. Do you have a stream or a well that you use?
Yeah, how would that work? It says, there's a pond nearby just outside the walls. You can collect water there. It's, he describes to you this pond that, like, is kind of like higher up in elevation. That's like a sort of an Ekin-made pond that, like, collects water. From the dew and such. I'm trying to think.
I'm sure there'll be some like water barrels outside that he would use for cooking in.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Yeah, like a source of. There would definitely be like water barrels lined up. I'm just trying to think also like whether they would want to. Yeah, he says you can fill those up. You can fill those 3 water bottles up here. And he points to these barrels.
Thanks.
I'm trying to think like how they get, because they would need water at this place. I read about these pools that they make that like, yeah, the water, it's like man-made pools or person-made pools where like, because of like condensation or something like that, it kind of creates these
Interesting.
and they're actually built like higher up in the hills. This was like in the Bronze Age. It's just something I randomly remember, but I don't know if that would actually be enough to support Yalnikishla. Maybe there is maybe he tells you that there is a small stream just within in the forest as well. That'll do.
As they're talking, can I rummage around for some soot that might be by the fire?
Yeah, there's plenty of soot and coals and things like that around here. And,
Excellent.
You can definitely do that. And this young boy sort of like peers at you curiously, like scratching his head while you're sort of poking around in the fire.
I'll show him the soot with like glee.
He turns to the cook. What are they doing? I don't know, but they wouldn't be in here without being dead if they weren't allowed to be, so whatever. Just don't let them touch anything else.
Can I have a look at one of the stews? Not touch it. I'm just gonna get close and like peer in if I can.
What are you doing? Are you going to spit in that?
Just looking. I want to see if it
I'm
looks
sick of
seasoned
people
at all.
always spitting in the stews.
Ew. No. I just want to see if it like, I want to get a whiff of it and kind of look in and see if it's like seasoned at all.
Are you judging them?
Yes.
You don't detect any seasoning.
I'll visibly do that, just go, and then just kind of turn away.
Just like bubbling, like, yeah, meat and fat. No, I don't know. Like, how far would the carnivore thing go? Does it mean that you can't even have, like probably really?
Like pepper, surely.
I mean,
No,
I don't know. Like, if you're really a
Instant
carnivore, like,
death.
you probably can't. You probably can't digest, like...
Ugh.
I'll have to think about this, but either way...
Yeah, I'd like to think omnivores really season their food well, and so do herbivores, and then carnivores are just like lamb chop. Nothing on
Just
it.
cooked meat.
Very
Like, what do you
British.
mean seasoned? But in this case,
the
even
British
so,
way.
it's like it's just like this military encampment, and you feel like they're not cooking and eating for pleasure. Maybe they don't even care about morale.
Oh,
You get the sense from like the behavior of the surgeon and now this cook that like some of these people are a bit disgruntled.
Perfect to turn them to our cause.
Okay, I think we'll head off. And definitely fill up these water skids if we can with any water barrels outside.
Or you can use the pond that I created, or the little stream.
If it's not too far
Don't let
away.
them go to waste.
Until we get to the pond. Okay, now...
We'll all go in different directions with our water skins.
just see all these dice.
Thank you. Thank you. All
One of us
right.
goes to the stream, one of us goes to the pond, and the other one uses the water barrel, but the fourth person just has to stand there and wait.
And as you go to the stream, there is a random encounter. All right. Anything else you want to do in Yalnikishla?
Can I try and find another spare water skin somewhere? Because we've got 3, right? So we're missing 1. Is there one like lying around that I won't have to go too far for, that no one's paying attention to, that I can just kind of... I'm turning into a thief here. I don't know what's happening. This was not the way I intended to go, but this is survival. Is there
There,
any
there
sort
are
of,
a couple
yeah.
of Ekin sitting at these trestle tables that are eating these like bowls of like meat gruel, and they're not paying too much attention. But you don't see any water skins lying around. Only in the crates where they were fetched from, which are like behind this counter. It would be relatively hard to get to them.
Okay.
Vindaros.
Not impossible.
No, this guy's already suspicious of me for looking at his meat soup. I'll stay away. I'll be good. I'll be good.
Well, yeah, because you are
I've stolen
standing
something today.
behind the counter looking in the meat soup.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I feel like he just spoke to me. Can I just be like, hey, Vindaris, can you ask him any question ever? And make it look like I'm asking a really important question about the food?
Certainly.
Just kind of point at it?
I don't want to encourage you to do it either. I just want to know that you can
just
try
want to get
it.
a good look.
But you
I
do
just
also
wanna
have a
get a look.
sense that if you were to be caught doing something like that in this military encampment, you don't think these people have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
No,
So
I just
the-
want to get a look. I'm not actually going to try and steal something this time around. I just want to, like, sort of see the interaction, see how what goes on behind the counter, and just kind of, like, this little Ekin helper, I'm assuming, is just
Yep.
kind of darting around. I just want to kind of watch his movements, but I don't want people to watch me while I watch them do that.
Yeah, he's just going around. Maybe he's even, getting like bags of salt, and he's actually making some rations himself.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to, like, get eyes off me so I can do that without anyone feeling like I'm being suspicious. Okay.
What were you going to say, Vindaris?
We'd also like to ask Reddy and Twig, did you have weapons that were dinted? Bronze weapons? Do you want to see if we can pop over to the armory if they can just give him like a once over?
Let me just check. I think mine are not dented. But maybe ready?
No, I don't carry bronze weapons anymore. I gave away my dented weapons. Didn't have any need for those ones.
Yeah, I think we left them all at camp,
I
the
know what you
dented
mean.
ones.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're ready to head out. We just have to work out what time of day it is and how far we can.
Yeah, how far can we go?
Yeah, it might be worth even. I know it's probably about early afternoon.
Yeah, early,
Even-
just past midday, you think, and it's warmed up a fair bit now.
Is it worth spending the night here and heading out first thing in the morning, since we've got cover?
Will they
Definitely.
let us?
We picked up some bed rolls, didn't we? So maybe that'll help us if we do.
You would also
A bedroll and we have blankets.
you would also be aware that because you were told previously that I'm trying to think who it was originally that these kidnappees may be sort of eaten or sold on to slavers or
Good point.
not that you can't rest for the night, but that would be on your mind.
Yes. Okay, I think it's time to move out. Maybe have a drink while we can, then top up our skins again.
Yeah, you can do
Yes,
that.
definitely.
Yep. Because we haven't really had anything to drink today.
Should we eat as well
Yeah, I think that's a
for the
good idea.
day? And then, yeah, okay, let us eat.
And Vindaris, I have food for you.
Thank you.
I will.
And
Do you have any?
I think I do. Yes, I've got a couple, but I also
I've
have I can just imagine Vindaris is talking to Raddy and Twig, and as he's talking, that the rune stops working. Like halfway through the sentence.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've been here for a little while now.
I'm not sure how long it lasts
Maybe
for.
it's getting there. It's getting there.
1 hour.
So it's like, I've got these herbivore rations if you need them, and it starts speaking Savannah. AMA. I noticed along the way earlier today that you're trying to help Twig with his rash. So I thought I'll give you this. I've got this spare healer's kit. Please use for emergencies. If I go down, at least you have something, and it's better to spread that healing over. So if I can pass that on to AMA, I think there's 5 charges left in it.
Yeah,
Of
so
the
you
healer's
just
kit.
picked up a healer's kit. Where did you?
as
Did
well.
anyone put that anywhere? Because I'll add that to somebody's. Who wants to have that?
Maybe I would have put it into Vindaris' bag as well, just to try and, again, keep that sword from being noticed by anyone else. Like, I took it and I just kind of nodded and I've, like, managed to
Okay.
fit it into his pack.
So how does this work when you have 2, but you've used 5 charges? Like, does it know? You know what I mean? Like, does it know that you have? Does it just assume you have 2 with 5 charges, or what happens if you go like 0? I don't know how that. Maybe
So
what
I'll
I'll do
definitely give-
is add a second healer's kit.
AMA, you didn't want to hold on to the kit?
I'm happy to take it. It's
Yeah.
a good idea to spread the resources.
Okay, I'll put it in your inventory.
Thank you.
So that's
After.
that's the one that we've just picked up, if you want. And I'll give it to Raddy. I saw him use cure wounds on AMA earlier. So I'll pass the healer's kit to Raddy.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Wait, weren't you giving it to
Sorry.
Yao Mei?
Yeah, so
There's two.
there's 2 kits. So if AMA has the full one that we just picked up,
Oh, and then you're going to give the half-used one
the
to
half,
Reddy.
yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'll move that
Just like
across.
the ones we have back home.
Still looking for that herbalism kit.
Does anyone want a meat? Want a meat ration? Pointing to meat. Okay, there's. I'll give one to AMA.
Okay, I'll put that. So a meat. What is it?
So
Oh, I'm gonna straight away eat it.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
If that's what we're doing. If that's what we're.
Yep. I'm minusing 2. 1 for me. 1 for you. 1 for me. 1 for you.
Thank you. A wig.
That's okay.
Hey,
Okay.
mate, you guys are like meat buddies.
Yeah.
Meat
Yeah.
brothers.
Meat cheers.
Meat. Link. It's more like. It doesn't like make a sound.
AMA, you didn't remove herbivore rations from your.
Yeah, I'll
you
give
did.
them to you.
Oh, you don't need to.
removing them now.
Okay,
Oh, did you?
that's
Did
okay.
you take them? No, I'll just give them to you. It's fine.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna keep the 0 quantity herbivore rations on my list because I'm sure we'll get more eventually.
When you say you gave them, you just mean you got rid of them?
Yes.
Yeah, I,
Oh,
I gave them to
and then Vindaris, you're going to add
Vindaris
them.
to eat
Just give some of
immediately.
them.
Oh, you're going to eat them. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just getting rid of them out of my inventory.
Sweet.
No point doing a whole handover.
All right.
Wait, does Reddy eat carnivore rations too? Oh, then we'll also do a clink with you. If you do.
Oh yeah. Do you,
Meat
did
clink.
you want a carnivore
I just
ration as
keep
well, Bertie?
I think out and I'm like, what do you guys do? And I'm just like, oh.
Oh, oh no!
His like stomach rumbles like.
You get a ration.
little
You
sad.
get a ration. All right, there you go. Okay.
And then we all do a little clink together and we leave Vindaris
Wait,
out of it.
Twigsy
We just gesture in his direction, but we don't actually touch because we don't want to
Yeah.
infect his food. No cross contamination here.
Ah, damn it. Cool.
We go already. Did you also take Vindarus's rations that he was offering to you, just so you can add them to your? But he had 7 of them, if you want.
Oh, you had 7.
Herbivore rations.
Oh.
So if you
I
add
can't-
them,
Yeah. I mean, I can't eat them.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
Twigs,
sorry,
Twigs is carnivore.
Sorry, not herbivore. Sorry, carnivore. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
So I'll just bring this to 0, and then
Okay.
you can just add 7 to yours.
I will add 7. I'm the keeper of the food.
The meat.
The meat man.
Keeper.
The meat.
You know what? I think this is the grand adventures of the meat man and veggie boy. I half completed that in the Discord chat, but I'm finishing it now with meat man. That's hilarious.
Ooh, I like it. It's quite disturbing sounding.
It's like the 3
Meat
musketeers. There's actually 4 of them, and the 4th one was a vegetarian.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That is what this campaign is now called. Sorry, it's not Strange New Land anymore.
Alright.
Meat-skatees.
Do you do anything else in Yalnikishla?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so sometime after midday, you can head back out of this fort. And which direction do you travel in?
The map.
It was more so. I think pretty sure directly east to the road, Smorgan's Road, from memory.
Yeah, I think that was where we had to go to because they attack on Smorgon's Road. I think that's where we
Oh
were
no,
heading.
actually, no. Sorry, back that up. AMA. We're going to go north for the other mission for the druids. He lost his
Oh,
the tree folk stole his.
But don't we have priority of finding the rest of our group
yes.
first before they get taken
Yes,
or
true.
eaten?
True. Okay. Let's go east.
We debate this before we leave. We're all
As we're
caught up on
eating,
different things.
as you guys in your meat coma and Vindaris is eating these veggies.
We got the meat sweats.
Alright. So you can head east with the meat sweats. And let's take a 5-minute break.
okay. You in a sec.
Dinner time.
This might be a silly question, but with like component pouches, if I have like dirt and sand as components, are they going to get mixed up or?
Because then it just becomes dirt. So it no longer counts as sand anymore. Is that how that works?
No, like actual question though.
So the component pouch is like a pouch that has like a bunch of like little
Different pockets.
compartments and pockets and things inside it. So
Okay.
maybe it's designed specifically for that. Maybe there's even like a little label. Dirt, sand.
Perfect.
All right, so you leave Yalnikishla and you head to the east. And it's just after midday. And yeah, the wind is still blowing through these tall grasses, but it is, as I mentioned, a little bit warmer than it was previously. And you see something. As you walk through these grasses, a few kilometers to the east, you walk past these piles of stones that are arranged in small mounds. You think this is possibly some kind of burial site, or something like that. And there are a bunch of stones also just sort of loosely kind of scattered around here, and but there are you think maybe 5 or 6 of these stone piles, but they're not like body length. They're just kind of, you know, just little mounds. But otherwise, you don't see anything else. It's just you and the wind and the cold. I mean, when I say that it's warm, it's still probably only like 4 degrees or something. It's just warmer than it was. Do you continue to the east?
As we pass these mounds towards the east, Twig is gonna sort of bow his head. He recognizes them as burial mounds and say a little, peace be with you.
Okay. He doesn't try to dig them up or anything.
No, he has a sense of respect for funeral rites.
All right.
For now.
And so it probably takes about an hour and a half to reach these cairns or burial mounds, and you can continue heading to the east even further along these plains, and you just keep walking up and down these hills and valleys. You don't see much else around. You kind of hear the odd bird cry out above. Do you do anything while you're walking?
I would just be Vidar should be vigilant, as in looking out.
Yeah, Yao Mei too.
We know we're not in favoured territory. Like, I think we were a bit relaxed in the forest, leaving our secure compound and so forth, but heading into these really unknown lands, knowing that there's going to be some dancing, is definitely going to keep vigilant.
Give me a perception check.
I'll roll one as well in a second. I just have to wash my hands.
Okay.
I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you like, you can roll with advantage if you like. If I
That's
assist,
okay if you want to do that.
Yeah.
And also, I'll say that it's relatively dim. There's still these kind of grey clouds above, even though it's midday. Not like it's hard to see or anything, but it's just cold winter weather.
Actually, I'll roll with advantage if Amy's.
Go for it. Nice. Okay. So let me see. So now you've traveled another 3 hours. So you've traveled for about 7 hours, and it takes about an hour and a half to travel to another 5 kilometers at normal sort of speed. But it's only like a few hours after midday. You can kind of see the sun above you, like through the clouds. What do you do?
Sorry, did you say we've only got an hour left of travel today?
Yes.
Okay, I reckon we keep going for a little while. Maybe not the full hour. Maybe try and find somewhere to make camp for the evening that might be somewhat protected.
If you want to look for somewhere that's kind of protected, maybe give me a survival check.
Can I also assist as well?
I'm happy to do that roll.
Yeah, you can roll at advantage, Yao Mei.
Cool.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, you're able to find this area that is kind of a bit of a valley in between these two hills here, and there are some larger boulders kind of sitting down here with grass growing around them, and a tree also, a big old like oak tree standing strong next to one of these boulders. And you feel that if you kind of come down here, it's not only out of the wind, but also people would have to come fairly close and sort of look down between these hills to find you here.
Okay, great. Then I might just try and gesture for everyone to come along and just, I don't want to yell or make a big scene, but just kind of be like, this way, this way. We stay here? Sleep? And I'll like gesture for like the sign of like your hands under your head. Sleep here? Yes.
Ready will go up to this oak tree and try and rip a few pieces of bark off and give them a sniff. And then he'll put them in his companion pouch and nod.
Awesome. All right.
Does it smell good?
I don't know, it smells like oak. I just wanted to make it look fun for these two.
Make it look like you know what you're doing as a druid. Like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Exactly.
That's some good oak.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Must be a good spot to sleep then. I must have made a good choice.
Good choice.
Don't give away my wizardry secrets.
No. Wizards rules. Your secret's safe with me.
Nice.
But it is, again, like only sometime in the afternoon, and you can only do a long rest once every 24 hours. So you woke up at like 6:30. So the next time you can sleep is like 10:30.
Is it?
Yep.
Sorry. Is it possible to do some downtime activities at the moment?
No, you have to be in like
in a safe space.
Yeah.
I know I should know this. If we take a short rest
Yep.
and continue to travel, will that affect
No.
our Oh, maybe we'll do that then.
Oh, I
Like
thought
without
you were
your
saying
No,
will it
as in-
affect your travel time? Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted.
No, it's okay. I was thinking, okay, so I won't have it. Okay.
Having a short rest won't restore your travel time, if that was
Okay.
going to be the question.
Yeah.
Can we do an activity like foraging close by?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking that, or I can maybe start on a map. Maybe that's downtime activities, but maybe I
No,
can
you can
start
do that.
testing out my cartographer's tools and spend a couple hours like creating a map of the castle and like
And-
the paths that I carved onto the or painted with soot onto the wall of the castle.
Okay. So a map of the ruins.
Yeah, so the ruins, basically just replicating whatever map I drew for like the watch groups around the castle. So like just the
okay.
immediate surroundings in the like
okay.
middle or something.
Yeah.
And I
So
can
like
expand
the
on it later.
ruins and some of the surrounding forest and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You can do that. You don't need to make a check or anything. Just trying to think. I suppose you would draw it on maybe the cartographer's kit would come with some of these planks of wood, and perhaps you can kind of like paint it on there or draw it on with charcoals and things like that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
It's all right. What were you going to say, Twig? Or you wanted to forage.
Yeah. But I might ask Reddy, is there anything you might need? I see I've pretty much got all my stuff now. Can I help you?
There's a few things that I've been looking for, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to find them in the plains.
What would they be?
There's mistletoe, some spruce, some shamrock clover if it's around. What else?
Oh.
Some yew, which I don't think we're going to be able to find.
Me?
You know, most of these I don't think we're going to be able to find in the plains, unfortunately. But
You need a lot of plants, hey. Druids.
Give me a nature check, ready.
Haha. I'm telling fibs.
You would know at least that like mistletoe actually tends to grow more in this kind of environment than in the forest. It likes the sunlight, I think.
So a bit of mistletoe.
Yes, mistletoe. If you see that around, I believe it should be growing in this sort of environment.
You're a very knowledgeable druid, Reddy.
I've studied much in my time.
Cool. Can I help? Can I look for that?
Okay. So if you want to search, how long are you willing to search for? If you kind of search around this hex.
The maximum before I get too tired. And exhausted. That 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Okay. So you can begin searching around for, I guess, like some trees that have mistletoe growing on them. And maybe give me a nature check to see if you can identify mistletoe if you find it.
Looks good.
All right.
Can I help her with this? I mean, can I help him with this?
Yeah, I mean, you can search separately if you want. You don't have to both kind of help each other, but you can also search together. It's up to you.
Go on without me.
Okay, there you go.
I'm a lost cause.
Well, Twig, give me give me a perception check to see if you spot anything that you think looks like mistletoe.
All right. Oh, can I use my eyes?
Yes. So you get +2.
So that's +2. Yep.
I'm a fool. I've been listening for it all this time.
The sound of the mistletoe. Yes, unfortunately, Twig, you find a couple of trees and some rocks and even like some flowers growing in a meadow nearby, but you don't find what you think would be mistletoe anywhere.
I think perhaps
And so you would search for the 4 hours. Did you say 4 hours?
Yes.
Yeah, you spend 4 hours kind of looking around and you don't find anything.
I don't think I don't really know what mistletoe is, so maybe I come back with like a handful of like wilting flowers. I'm like,
But Reddy, were you also searching for the same thing?
Yeah. He's also looking for a forked twig,
For a forked twig.
which surely is fairly easy to find.
Yeah, I'll say that you can find a forked twig very easily.
You also find Twig with a fork.
Just sticking out of his back.
oh God.
just like holding it up.
But yeah, I reckon it's probably looking for mistletoe. That if you say that's
Seeing as you
more abundant here, then yeah.
Yeah, seeing as you rolled 19 for the nature check before, we'll say that you know what mistletoe would look like. So give me a perception check to see if you can spot it anywhere.
Use your eyes.
I didn't ask how long it takes you. We can assume that you spend at least like the same amount of time searching.
Yeah,
so
I would have spent the whole. Yeah.
Yeah. So you look around for another 4 hours, and yeah, you also turn up empty-handed.
It just sounds like plain old plains here, Twig.
You see, Reddy. I think I know what the issue is. Ease. Maybe next time we should try smell it out.
It's the only one left, I guess.
Plains, old
this was-
plains.
While this was happening, could Vindaros be working on camp itself, like a shelter
Okay.
as well? So he's just looking at
That's very
the Twig and Reddy in the background, just walking around. I'm like, oh, hey mate, these guys know what they're doing. They're you know what? They belong in the plains like us.
And Ayame's not
Junglefolk.
looking at you, not listening to you. He's tuned you out. He's just looking at this map tool like, ooh, goody. And he's not paying attention at all.
I'll just be talking to myself. I'm like, they belong in the plains.
And then, like, maybe 2 minutes after you say that, I'll be like, did you say something?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, you're like not there. You're busy like grabbing stuff.
And then we come back holding like a single twig and a few dead flowers.
Well, like, I would hope you
Well.
bring Twig back. That's important. He's an important creature.
Each to their own. I don't ask questions. That's fine.
Maybe we can help with the camp.
I'll say though that as you are kind of searching around for mistletoe, that Reddy, seeing as you rolled a little bit higher. Wait, did you?
Harold and
Oh no, you both rolled.
I think I rolled like a 19 to understand what mistletoe was.
Oh no, yeah, Twig
And 8 to
got
find it.
10. So Twig, you come across a.
12.
Oh yeah, 12. You come across while you're searching around a small pond with trees around it in this depression among the hills, just like a couple of hills over from where you guys are making camp. It's like this
Ooh.
grassland pool, and there's probably even something around this little pool. You see a bunch of these ground dwelling birds kind of clucking and pecking and moving about around this pool. They've got like red legs and bills, and they're just kind of minding their own business, eating worms and drinking from the pool. It's a relatively small pond.
I was thinking they eating mistletoe.
I'll say you can just identify these by sight as wait, because where are you? You're from the jungle. Maybe you're not necessarily.
Well, I mean, okay, but I will quietly bring my friends over here to look at this pool. Maybe we could do something with the water or the birds.
Are there any bird feathers lying around?
Yeah, there would be some of these sort of light grey and red, almost stripy looking feathers, and also some sort of browner feathers.
I shall acquire some of the fancy looking ones.
Nice, you're acquiring a lot of material components. I'm not even doing it on purpose, it's just random shit.
Pindaris, do you know what kind of birds these are? And I'm gonna make what's the check I need to make for language?
Oh yeah, I think it's just an intelligence check, I think.
Okay.
And you got to get DC 16. Nope.
16?
Yeah.
Ah, grum.
Yes. Yeah, they're birds.
I love that, I love the idea that, now that we're starting to learn the languages, we know, random words here and there, so it's oh yes, that is a bird.
Yeah.
Bird.
Correct.
We're trying to teach each other. I love that.
But Vindaris, how are you making this this shelter?
Yes. Thank you for asking. I've been thinking about that. He would like to use the oak tree.
Okay.
If you could. Is there a low-hanging branch coming up the side of the oak tree? The idea is he wants to use his shade sail, the 2-meter cloth, and have a lean-to. So one end on a low-hanging branch, and the other end he has 9 spears. He wants to put 2 into the ground at the rear, pick him in, pick the top 2, and have a lean-to that everyone can take shelter underneath.
Nice. That sounds
just
pretty good.
Just to protect them from the drip, yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You don't have to make a check or anything. And actually, it just randomly came into my mind when you said all those spears that, Yao Mei, you have a bunch of shields. How are you carrying all of those? Those bucklers?
I actually didn't realize I had those. I assume I would have left them at camp, at the castle, I mean.
Well, so you actually, I think, picked them up from the heron.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, they're bucklers, so they're small shields, but 5
Maybe
of them...
I'd have one, and I would have left the others at the fort, or maybe just kind of... Yeah, maybe I would have taken them to the fort, 1 or 2, and then just dumped one. Maybe kept one after that.
Okay, sweet.
We could have used them as bargaining tools that,
Yeah, or as proof that we did the thing that they said we did, and just as evidence. That's spattered with blood and gross stuff.
Yeah, that would were they? I can't even remember if they actually are heron bucklers. I think they are.
I definitely didn't have them before that fight.
Yeah, so they would even potentially be recognizable as heron bucklers. So Captain Zaglo would have even potentially seen them as trophies, and it would have definitely improved his attitude towards you even more.
Yeah, and maybe I've just kept one, and we can maybe use it as an extra shield for somebody else.
Okay.
And during this like period of calmness, I can offer it to someone. Just go, does anyone want this? Shield? Shield? Shield. Protection. Yeah, we like do a little mock fight.
Yeah.
Like improvise a little like with like we get like twigs off the ground and we use them as like I wonder who would win.
Retty, do you want the shield? I think that's what they're asking.
Reddy
about
and
this?
Vindaros already have shields.
Oh, they have shields. Oh, I'll take the shield.
Alright.
Can you use
not
a
my shield
shield?
anymore.
But well, yeah, maybe not. Let me just check.
Oh no, you should be able to use a shield actually.
I don't. It's not in my weapons proficiency. I can just hold on to it.
Because I think my thought behind keeping one is potentially it's a good bargaining tool to like hand back to the Heron if we find ourselves in a predicament and might need to swear allegiance to someone else. I'm using heavy air quotes. So it might just be good to have one and try and like clean it up so it looks like fairly fresh. And just like, oh, I found this, I'm returning it to you.
Yep. Well, it's in your inventory now, Twig.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And you probably have like another approximately 4 hours before you begin to feel tired. Do you do anything
Mock
else?
fight. Vindaros and I are just sparring in a corner somewhere. That'd be funny.
Training.
Yeah. I'm practicing my new moves that I've thought up, and I'm trying to like finesse them so that they actually do something.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I have some like
I'll watch and
maneuvers.
clap.
Yeah, that's
too
right.
loud.
That's right.
Not too loud.
And sometimes like I'll grab one of you to like stand in and do something and just be like, wait here, stay. And then like I do something and I'm like, Vindaros, come at me like this. And then I try and like I practice like putting the shield in front of someone else to protect them, or like trying to like encourage people and like seeing if that does anything. And then like maybe I try and say, Vindaros, maybe try and go at Twig for a second and I will distract you. And then we like practice that for a little bit. And I say, it's okay. It's okay. I'll protect you. Friends. Like, it's not good that we all can't speak the same language, but I definitely like, I definitely try and keep Twig calm. I'm just like, don't worry. You're safe. Safe. Friends.
Safe. Safe. Friends.
But
Stay there. Doris, come at him. Come at him for a sec. And I like get into a stance or something.
All right, so do you want to sleep for the night?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
with watches.
All right. So
there's-
with watches, actually, I realized a couple of days ago that I've been saying I've been recommending a 9-hour sleep, so that like everyone can have like a full rest and do watches. But I realized that that is only something that's necessary for a group of 3. I think like with a group of 4, you should be able to have just an 8-hour long rest and take each like a 2-hour
Shift.
2-hour shift if you want to do that. Sorry for misleading you. I had to like sit
Like
down and
extra hours
sketch
sleep,
it
I
out
was gonna
again.
It's like
We're
daylight
just
savings.
lazy.
You just got to turn the clock back and shower and
We're just lazy. We've been through a lot. We
Yeah.
deserve an hour.
You can sleep all day if you want.
Yeah, why not? It's not like we have something impending that we have to do soon.
All
Who's
right.
got those blankets?
Ooh, blankets.
So,
Dara.
hey, mate, I think I might take these blankets out now.
Yeah, just be careful of the bone saw I put in there. Oh yeah, guys.
Oh, here you go. Oh, no, would you like the bone saw later?
Oh, I can't carry it. Can you keep
Holes?
it?
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll just put the blankets around it in the morning, and it'll be okay. I thought it might be nice to have some tools.
All right. So, what order do you take watches in, and also do you light a fire?
Yes.
Is there somewhere we can place it or start the fire where it's not super obvious, potentially?
Yeah, you can sort of do it in between some of these a couple of these boulders, and kind of keep it out of the wind a bit, and as much as possible, unless creatures come to the sort of the ridges around this valley, they're unlikely to see a fire, you think?
Yeah, at least it warms up the rocks as well, so that's a heat source.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good idea.
All right. And you can all learn a little bit more language for the day as well. And
One more day.
yeah, one more day.
Nice.
And yeah, what's your order of watches if you're going to do 4 watches or 3 or whatever you would like to do?
Height order? I'll go first.
I'm happy to go next. Ready? Better take the next one.
I don't know works, yep.
They're going back to back again. I can see they're trying to work out who's taller. We'll take the last one.
I keep
How does the
complaining 'cause
formula-
the ground's not flat.
Yeah. How does the formula work with the languages again? With its intelligence for the day?
So in your character sheet, it's just if you unlock the edit thing on the top left.
Yes, yep.
Then click the cog to the right of where it says languages, where it says configure languages, and then in that field down the bottom, you can just change the 39 to a 38 and click update, and then switch off the edit button, and that should. Yep.
Thanks.
No worries. And so, who was the second watch again? Sorry.
That was me.
30. Yeah, so sometime around 2 o'clock in the night, you hear a little bit of rumbling in the sky, and it begins to rain. Not a heavy rain, just a light rain. And so you're lucky that you're under this shelter, as you are otherwise able to sleep through it relatively easily. And you've got blankets. Don't have bedrolls. One of you has a bedroll. But that's alright, nobody's exhausted. And yeah. It seems like you are able to have a decent long rest. Does anyone want to identify any items while you're resting? Because you can attempt to do that.
Yes. I'd like to identify this amber. No. Is unappraised the same as unidentified? Unidentified.
Oh, I guess appraised is more about value.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Ooh,
you
amber.
can. You can
This
probably.
amber too.
Oh yeah.
I would like to identify that.
Okay, give me an investigation check. You turn this over in your hands, and let me see. The thing is that this has a rune on it, so actually you can probably add your Arcana modifier. Now that I think about it, your intelligence modifier. 10. Oh, I still 10 still isn't quite enough. You feel like you've seen this rune before or had it described to you, but you just can't. You scratch your head, but you just can't bring it back
Very
to
well.
mind.
Before Vindaros finishes his long rest, he didn't realize this before, but he's taken over from Ratty as well, and he'll like to try and ask Ratty, like he wants to lay on hands himself for 5 healing points, and he's going to say, Ratty, are you feeling okay or you hurt?
Feeling pretty good.
Okay. And he'll just lay on hands. Actually, this would be quite nice. He's not. Let's have a look. 5. He, while he's also watching, he might just put a hand on AMA and one on Twig and give him 3 to Twig and 2 to AMA, like lay on hands as they're sleeping. Sweet dreams, brothers.
That's so cute. I love Vindaros so much.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Except you wake up and see him, you're like, ah!
Just
It's like, it's like trunk going one direction, hand in the other one. Weird stuff happening. There's going to be a rumor starting that he does weird stuff while we're all asleep soon.
Weird, but very very lovely feeling.
Strangely
Wait,
comforting.
that
Yeah.
doesn't sound good.
Strangely
Yeah,
comforting. Like it's like
Comforting.
it's like a parent's love.
All right, but otherwise, yeah, you have a good night's
actually
sleep.
Will cure wounds myself because I realized I'm 1 HP off.
Okay. And yeah, you wake up in the morning and it is still raining lightly, and it's pretty dim. It's like fairly early in the morning, but yeah, it's only a light rain, and the wind isn't like too strong, especially down between these hills. What do you do?
I guess we just unpack the camp and move on.
Ready
It's raining.
to do some meditating in the morning and prepare
Cool.
some spells.
Okay.
Is it still raining when we wake up? Sorry,
Yeah.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, it's still a light rain.
I'm also gonna cast Mage Armor again.
Okay.
I might just use my shield to keep me out of the rain as much as possible.
Wait, I think you gave the shield. You gave the shield to Twig.
But I have my shield still.
oh, true.
Oh, you have like a full shield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got like
sweet.
a proper shield.
Nice.
And Twig has the little one. Which makes sense.
All right, so you can get up and you can begin traveling. Which direction?
East.
Yeah, I guess we just continue on east.
Okay. So you continue traveling through these hills some way. Takes you like probably another hour and a half. Reddy, you spot something in the distance as you are all walking along. It looks like some sort of cluster of silhouettes, something on the several hills away. It looks like this hilly area starts to kind of flatten out, you can see these hills kind of transition into these flatter plains. and you see in the distance, some sort of structure or something. And as you continue walking, you can actually see that you begin to walk through what appears to be like pastures of some kind. Even you would begin to go so far as to say it looks like it's cultivated somewhat. There's kind of these fields of like cotton and even wheat and corn, and also some like vegetables. There's like some fields of like flowers that look like poppies. And as you begin walking through this area, you see this structure in the distance is some kind of, it looks like a cluster of buildings. And in the middle of these fields as well, you see at one point what looks like some sort of big round yurt made from like wood and thatch and mud as well. And you see like another one off a little bit further, and you think you can see like some silhouettes moving around as well. There's some sort of activity here as you come closer to what looks like some sort of community.
I'll point them out to everyone in the party. And I guess, shall we get closer or keep our distance?
The question is, are we already walking through these fields, or past these fields? As in, have we walked past the field of poppies?
You are sort of walking into these fields, and you can see what looks like, some corn growing off to one side, and another small field of like these like poppies, and this yurt is like some way ahead of you, so you're still kind of at the edge. Not too late to back out.
Okay. Well, what I was thinking was, I was told before we left that maybe we could take some poppies to create some sort of healing things, medicinal things. Are they at a point where we could potentially take some? I mean, it is winter, so I don't really know about the when poppies grow. I don't know when they're in season, shall we say, but are they at a point where we could potentially take some with us?
Yeah, so I don't really know about poppies either. Because they would be, I guess you would only really know what they are based on, like, the flowers.
I'm hoping my herbalism ability might give me the knowledge to know what they look like at all seasons, but...
Yeah, I'll say that you are able to, as a herbalist, especially since I've already said it, identify these as poppies. They
actually, I just googled it. They flower in late winter, so they should be coming up to blooming time roughly.
So I found late autumn to ideally April. Which I always get confused with. Well, and then this says, hold on, winter.
July.
So they flower in late winter, then right through to spring, then around May until November. Wait, what? That's so confusing.
So they flower twice, basically. They're in season twice.
Okay, I see. Gardeners should plant poppies in late autumn. Yeah. Okay, nice. So they flower in late winter. So yes.
And I'm assuming we're like early to midwinter at this point.
Yeah, you're not exactly sure, but we'll say that these are colourful red and yellow flowers.
Yay. Then if people are far enough away, I might try and take some, enough to make maybe a couple of healing related things with.
Yeah, you can easily do that. You don't see any people nearby. You just see maybe some silhouettes like much closer to this kind of cluster, to the actual community itself. So yeah, you can easily grab essentially as many handfuls of these poppies as you like.
Well, if I wanted to help 5 people with injuries or pain, how many would I have to take? Because I'm happy to add them to my inventory now. I just need to know how many I should be picking for that.
I'll say that you grab like 5 clumps of them, tentatively. I'm sure that...
Alright, that makes sense.
I'll revisit that if it doesn't make sense.
I'm just creating that now.
I hear what Reddy asks, and Twig will say, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to talk to them because the spell that I had to help, I don't got that anymore. Maybe we should skirt the sidelines for this, and I'll try and also communicate this to the other two."
Gesture like walking around. Yeah, I think we'll get it.
You can give me an intelligence check as well if you want to try to say it in words.
15. It's not my day.
But as you are trying to get this across, you hear a loud scream emanating from this village.
There is a mastodon about to walk through their field. I don't think we've seen too many before.
Does it appear like they've spotted us and they're yelling
No.
at us?
You don't see anyone close enough to you that it doesn't. You don't think that it has anything to do with you.
Okay. Do we go in? And I'm like looking around like, go towards or avoid?
Was that scream, could we identify that scream?
Identify it.
As in, like someone screaming for their life, or someone screaming because they were
Like the
afraid?
intent.
Yeah.
Out of humor.
The scream actually sounds like you think that as part of the scream you almost hear like it suggests crying, like sadness and anguish.
Vindaros does have keen hearing. And he's a big old sensitive guy.
Yeah, I think Yao Mei would kind of be like, should we go in there? That's concerning. Go in? Everyone? In? I'm happy to roll for this, by the way.
All right.
Was it
cautious.
Intelligence?
Let's do it.
Oh, to try to communicate?
Yeah, to actually say it. And
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
gesture as well,
intelligence.
but like...
With caution.
My mouse isn't working. Oh, there we go.
It's even more gibberish than what Twig tried to say to you previously.
I mean, it seems like everyone wants to go in, so Twig will follow along.
Okay.
Yeah, then we walk in. We're trying not to alarm, but we want to know what's going on to see if we can help.
Okay, so as you get closer, need something. As you begin walking towards this community, you see more of these mud and thatch, sort of half wood yurts around, and this big cluster in the middle, and you actually see one of these silhouettes, and in much more closely, which appears to be, as you're kind of walking past one of these yurts, maybe a large bison-like, horned and hooved humanoid, dressed in furs and skins, comes like storming out of this yurt and doesn't notice you and begins like running towards what is now obviously some kind of village. And you think these are like cow people, minotaurs, as they were called by Captain Zaglo. And you can head closer in, and as you get nearer to this cluster of buildings, the grasses subside and the ground kind of transitions to dirt. And several of these Minotaur people are kind of standing around, and it's a pretty small community. And you can walk in here to what looks like a sort of a central area. And there's like a much larger structure off to the side here, and probably like a big fire pit in the middle. And it's still raining at the moment, and this fire pit is not lit. But it looks like, you know, a sort of a central, like a town square sort of. And you also see like a bunch of like totems and things, like wooden totems with like these images of various animals, not just cows, but also birds and other beasts. Decorative totems kind of scattered around the village. And you see like a bunch of these folk gathered in this central area. And there's this larger building that's off to the side. And standing in front of this building there are several pig folk, several Suskin. There is one of them who is dressed in this long cloak, kind of standing just under. Perhaps there's like a little awning above this opening in the front of this structure, which also just has like a leather flap otherwise. But he's standing under this to kind of protect him from this rain, and he's wearing this long cloak, and you can see that. What has he got on him? He's probably like not like heavily armored or anything, but there is like a scene going on before him where there are these two more heavily armored pig folk soldiers who are like beating one of these minotaurs, and there is another individual standing next to this Suskin that's standing under the awning, who is dressed much more like Lexitor Ophis Glosser in these kind of monk's habit, and he has this same like necklace around him with this like circular blue piece of wood with this like spiral engraved on it, and he's carrying also like a staff that also has like severed hands and tongues like hanging off it. And as these soldiers like beating this cowfolk, you can see another couple of minotaurs like holding back this woman who is obviously the one that was like crying out, and she's kind of like screaming and trying to like stop this beating from occurring. There is one more soldier who is carting away another minotaur who is looks kind of older. He's got this sort of grayish kind of beard and like some grey fur coming down his back, this grey pelt, and he's being like carted off in towards this like building that's like around the side of this larger building. And some of these minotaur see you kind of walking in and kind of turn to you like in surprise and look at your bronze weapons. Or perhaps they can at least see that you're carrying shields and some kind of weapons. What do you do, if anything?
That's tough. I want to stop this, but do we sabotage our very tentative alliance? Do we maybe try and just like calm it down?
I think we see if we can have a chat to the. Is it the Lexidor? The staff here, the multi-tongues. Possibly we can communicate with him and find out what the issue is.
As you begin walking closer, this woman that is being restrained sees you, and she like breaks free of these other minotaurs that are like kind of holding her back, and she actually runs over to you, and she like kind of cries out and like falls to her knees, and begins. It falls in front of Yao Mei and kind of like clutches at you and cries out for something. You can't understand what she's saying, but she's obviously desperate for you to do something.
Yep. What I might do is just kind of help her up, hold her, and just kind of, I can't communicate, but I'm just trying to say like, stay calm. We'll do what we can. Don't get yourself hurt. Just stay here. Breathe. And try and like just be a calming presence for like a minute.
She is kind of wild-eyed, and she tolerates this only for a couple of seconds before kind of turning away and trying to go back to this minotaur that's being beaten. But the beating soon stops. And actually, as you're attempting to comfort this woman, you see that the Lexitor that is watching, standing next to this this sort of wealthily dressed Suskin that's standing under the awning, he kind of looks over at you. You see his like big kind of pointed ears sort of flop a bit as he kind of like looks over this Lexitor, and he sees you trying to comfort this woman and points in your direction, and this other Suskin also looks over, and they both look a little bit surprised as these soldiers leave this minotaur on the ground, and this woman is then able to like run back to him and kind of kneel beside him and try to help him up. And they stand there watching you for a moment.
Bindaris approached the Lexitor with open hands to see if he can make his way towards him.
Yeah, they see you coming. One of these soldiers kind of steps before the Lexitor and like draws a bronze weapon. I forgot what weapons these guys have.
I assume Vindaris has the little symbol thingy that can potentially show them that we're friends.
These guys are carrying like bronze halberds, actually, which I don't even really know if a halberd is a Bronze Age thing. But anyway, it is in a centus. And yeah, so this soldier kind of steps forward and kind of like holds up his halberd at the ready. But he doesn't attack you, he kind of stands there like...
Vindaris is going to recall the name of the other Lexitor that he spoke to. Oh, what's his name?
Zaglo? Oh, no, sorry, the Lexitor. Sorry. Office Glosser.
Oh,
yep, Office Glosser.
Office. So, he'll just be open hands and then reach in and show the Lexitor that slowly his driver's license, no, his bronze license to carry, and ask him if he can understand him, being a man of your kind and linguistics.
Oh, are you speaking to... So the soldier is...
Oh, he's too far away to speak to Lexidor? Or is he stepping in front of Lexidor?
He kind of stepped in front of you, but the soldier will perhaps take this license to carry and kind of look at it and then kind of relax a little bit. He turns around and kind of shows it to the Lexitor and this other richly dressed individual, and then they sort of wave you over, and he turns and gives it back to you, and sort of indicates for you to walk over with him, and you can approach these two pig folk that are standing here. The Lexitor is a lot more gaunt looking than Ophis Glossa, and as you get closer, he's like smoking a pipe. And he's standing next to this much prouder looking, sort of regal pig folk, who, is just dressed in like almost like fancy clothing, like a sort of a long kilt with patterns in it, and a cloak and maybe even a cap on his head. And this guy with the cap on his head says something to you, like a question, but you don't know what it is.
Can I look at the Lexitor? Does he communicate? I might signal. I'm gonna call my friends up. I'm gonna say, "Hey, mate, bring up Twig and ready slowly," like sort of looking over his shoulder and.
Gotcha. And I'll grab them and just kind of bring them forward slowly and just be like, no, nothing in your hands, empty hands. We're going to walk over and kind of demonstrate, since my attempt to communicate went so poorly before. Heavy on the gestures.
Well, as you begin interacting in a different language... Sorry, what did you guys want to say?
I was going to say, does it look like they've been looting these villages?
No, from what you can tell, there's a bunch of these minotaurs standing around, and there are you've seen 3 of these Suscan soldiers and these 2, this monk and this regal fellow, and you don't see anyone else. And it's not like they're in conflict with the minotaur. So yeah, you don't see any evidence of that.
Once we approach, can I maybe venture off to the side to the injured Minotaur and his, I'm assuming, partner or friend or somebody who's on the floor, and try and like help them up, move them away, kind of clear a space for a conversation rather than fight?
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of like picking up the man that was being beaten, and they're sort of beginning to sort of hobble away into the village elsewhere. You can certainly go up to them. Okay, so you kind of go and like help him.
Go on the other side and just kind of help lean him up, and
he's sort of too bruised and beaten to resist. And she kind of like looks over at you, and although she's too upset to smile, you do see like an indication that she's grateful for your help. Did you want to do something, Twig?
Yes, Twig is going to very slowly open his component pouch, reach in slowly, and bring out a bit of soot. And just like let it, and then he's gonna rub it into his forehead, and he's going to, what does this require? Yeah, he's got to sort of speak and do some movements, but very self-directed, to cast comprehend languages.
As you are casting comprehend languages, the Lexitor is like and coughs this like big like wheezy coughing fit, and like drops his pipe. He's like he like fumbles for it and like picks it up again. He like puts his finger in his pipe and pulls out some soot of his own, And he rubs it on his forehead as well and begins like mumbling these words. And you both cast Comprehend Languages. He says,
I know that spell. You, strangers, what brings you here, especially with a magic user such as yourself?
relights his pipe.
We are here with the blessing of Commander Zaglo. To patrol this region, especially for rat folk. And what are you doing here? I've got to puff myself up.
Captain Zaglo. Yes. I've heard of him. Yes, well, this is, we live here. What business of it is yours? I see that you have a license. What are you doing here? Are you an agent of the captain's?
In a way, yes, you could say that. We are here to weed out some criminal rat folk in the area. But these cow folk, they don't look like they're doing anything particularly heinous. Why are you doing them so?
This is
he indicates to the injured Minotaur that's being helped by Yao Mei and the woman.
This individual tried to get in the way of justice. We were doing nothing but punishing the thief.
And he kind of indicates in the direction also of this sort of older, like grey-furred Minotaur that was being carted away.
I'm going to relate this to... I guess I can only relate it to Reti, and I can relate it to the other two, I suppose. And I'd be like, what do we do?
With Comprehend Languages, will I know that you can communicate with me?
I can't. I have to do a...
One person?
He can... Twig can understand any spoken language, but can't speak it, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So
you can understand what Benares is saying, but you can't respond.
Yes.
Twig may be asked what is owing of him.
What is what? What owing?
What did he steal? What?
Oh wait.
Oh, actually, I don't know.
Oh.
Why was he being punished? Well, you know that. I don't know that.
Wait, no, I communicated. Oh wait, no, I didn't communicate it to you. Okay.
Oh, the intelligence check, 21.
Yeah.
What was that for?
Yeah, does that... that was to ask what do I do?
Yeah. We'll say that you can have like a little bit of... We don't have to do it for every single sentence.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe you can kind of communicate a couple of quick things.
Okay. So I guess, yeah. Do we try and stop this? I suppose so.
Stop this?
Oh.
What do you mean? We are upholding the law.
No. Why? What did you do to break the law?
That elder, Barticus, Stone Speaker, stole some bread from the regent's stores. He must be whipped, made an example of.
Maybe. What if he? Would he have been extremely hungry? Perhaps is why he stole the bread. Maybe there is some room for leniency in the law.
Ridiculous. He should go through the proper channels.
And what happens after you whip him?
If he survives, then we go on with our lives.
Oof, this is quite a harsh punishment for stealing some bread. And you do this to everyone that breaks your laws?
As he goes to answer you, this regent, as he's referred to him, kind of interjects and speaks to this Lexitor, and he says, you hear him say, "Basilis, who are these people? What do they want?" And the Lexitor turns to this individual and says,
Out of towners. They claim to be working for Captain Zaglo, I think. I don't know what they want. To stick their nose where it doesn't belong, I guess.
he turns back to you.
Yeah, I guess I turn to Vindaros and I say, what can we do? They are meeting out their laws, and if we were to go against it or stop them, we'd be in conflict. I don't know.
I understand, Twig. I don't Twig. I know Ratty's not too, he's pretty free-willed when it comes to that silver or those rings. Did he have any idea maybe we can compensate for the bread to stop the beating?
That's a good idea.
If you relay that information, Vasilis...
I'll ask.
Sorry?
Well, technically, they should already understand Vindaros.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
you're
wouldn't
right.
need to
Sorry,
relay.
you're right. Vasilis can understand Vindaros.
Oh, yeah.
He says,
It's the principle of the thing. We must discourage theft. It cannot be allowed to go on. And that Bartagus, Stone Speaker, has always been an upstart. He deserves to be punished anyway.
It seems from an outside point of view, you've proven your point. The point has been made. How about we can compensate? They don't need to know. The villagers don't need to know. But then the beating can stop between us. And you've proven your point.
what are they saying, Vasilis?
I don't know, Grigori. They seem to think that they know how we should run this town.
He turns back to you and says,
Go and poke your nose somewhere else.
Thank you for your time. And he'll walk away with Twig. Twig, maybe we just, if we've got some spare rings, we can give it to that.
That's true.
To the lady and the man, so. Oh, the bison.
I got rings. I got rings. You think they'll want food?
so when you say rings, do you mean the,
Ring money?
the ring money that you got from the... You would recall that Ophis Glosser, as part of Smorgon's decree, said that the only money that should be used is the coin.
Oh. Do we have any coin?
I'm pretty sure we had some actual coins too.
Everything that you have is coins with like the head of what you imagine to be Smorgon on it with wearing a crown. But you do have some rings, but they're in your inventory as a separate item.
Yeah, right.
Silver
Okay,
ring money,
so I've
gold
got
ring money.
80 gold coins. Yeah, maybe I can
Yeah. Look, I'll just say this
slip
week.
some of those.
Yeah, you're right. We can't break our, at the moment, alliance to be on outer.
Yes.
They're not budging. Let's have a chat to the bison and make our way. We'll just continue east.
Great. That makes sense. Oof.
So you're going to follow Yao Mei?
Yeah, I guess so. To where their hut is.
Yeah, so only a little way away, Yao Mei helps these two people into a much smaller yurt. And as you walk into this yurt, Yao Mei, you notice that there are these like little shelves and crates and things everywhere that appear to be full of all kinds of herbs and plants, and there are like pots and containers and jars and all kinds of things like this, and it smells really lovely in here. There's even like some incense burning, and there's like a small a bed to one side, and there's like a fire pit in the middle, and you help this woman help this beaten minotaur over to the bed and kind of lie him down, and she begins dressing or sort of washing his wounds with like some water from a pot and some kind of like cotton material. And if the rest of you kind of follow in here, as he begins to go to sleep and she kind of sees you're coming in, she kind of turns to all of you, and Twig and Vindaris, you can hear her. She says like, please help. You have to do something. They have Bartagus and he didn't do anything. He would never steal, I know it. It was that Vasilis. He's trying to set him up.
I see. Okay, I'll try to tell the others this, and try. I guess I can't communicate with her, so just be like.
She's like, just kind of seems frustrated.
By the way, while she's been washing his wounds, is there anything in the room that Yao Mei would recognize for healing? Like any sort of poultices or materials to make a poultice to kind of put over the wounds to kind of help them heal a bit quicker or keep them from getting infected or anything like that can be helpful?
Yeah, with your knowledge of such things, you could find maybe a small box full of like bog moss, and you could use that to dress some of these wounds.
Okay,
and
so maybe she's like
for your
cleaning
help,
one, then I put the moss on the clean one, and then she keeps moving on.
And as you're in there, another younger woman enters. You think this must be her daughter. She kind of says, she sort of turns to her and says, Nula, go prepare some food for our guests. And Nula kind of goes and begins like grabbing some ingredients and things and lighting this fire pit. And making some kind of vegetable-based stew. Go ahead.
I guess. Yeah. No. Go.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna give him like 10 gold pieces. And sort of be like, it's all we can do, sort of, or like, whatever.
She thanks you and speaks again and says, thank you for trying. I don't know if you can understand me, but somebody has to do something. She kind of looks at your weapons, glances around at some of your weapons. We could help you. We could give you. She sees also that like a Yao Mei knows what he's doing with some of these herbs and things. We could give you materials. Gunrus even has a sword. She like whispers it to you. Please help us. She doesn't think that you can understand. It's like,
What can we do? I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't understand you. She's like, thank you anyway. And turns back to Gunrus.
Week, I think their time will come, but it's not today.
All right. I guess maybe we should take our leave. We don't want to prolong the time to rescue our friends.
Yeah. I might just hand, if they'll take it, I might just hand them a piece of the willow bark that I have on me. Just as like an offering of like, shoo, help, good. Try and like gesture that like this will help if you can make this wounded person chew on it.
This woman takes it from you and nods, it kind of sniffs it and looks at it and says, yes, thank you.
And then just kind of almost like shake my head and kind of open my hands like, I'm so sorry, there's nothing more we can offer.
She seems to sort of understand and kind of nods like, okay, thank you.
And as Vendaris is walking past, he'll also like to lay on hands just for 2 HP, just to get that healing started and seal any critical wounds.
That'll be enough to actually heal him quite significantly. He, hasn't been like stabbed or anything. He's just been kind of kicked and punched. And so as you channel this magic into him, it is enough to greatly restore him. And he kind of sits up in the bed and kind of looks around. It's kind of like looks at some of his like bruises and things which are sort of healed and diminished, and kind of looks at you. Says, wow, thank you. Who are you? Can you understand me?
Sorry.
I guess not.
No. We must go.
Friends. Bye.
He turns to, who obviously seems to be his wife. Okay. Well, thanks for helping me. He turns to Yao Mei. Thanks for helping me walk.
I'll shake his hand and then start to leave.
Nula offers Reddy a bowl of some of this soup, and but then her mother's kind of like, oh, no, I don't think they're staying.
Already will look up at Vendaris and be like, please.
I know, it smells good. There's no meat in it, Red. No.
All right, but otherwise you can head back out and leave this somber scene behind. Do you do anything else before you leave?
No. Not from Vindaros.
Okay.
No.
All right, so it's probably now. Well, it's getting later in the morning. It's about like the middle of the morning, and it's still raining, and you can sort of begin heading out through the other side of this little Minotaur village, and head back through some more of these fields. And you see probably some like gardens and things, smaller gardens inside the actual village proper as well, with like, I don't know, cabbages and carrots and things like that growing in there.
Did you say carrots?
Specifically carrots. What is carrot? Another material spell component?
Right. Carrot is indeed one of them, yeah.
It is one?
And pastures of mistletoe. For some reason.
Kind of like snap off the end of like one of the carrots.
Yeah, I'll say you can like pretty easily like kind of uproot a carrot from one of these gardens as you're leaving. I haven't intentionally given you a single ingredient. Do you have a list of them or something? You're like, well, I don't want that.
No, I went through them before though. I was like, alright, this is what I'm gonna keep my eye out for.
Nice. I like that.
It's a carrot spell?
It's like a dried carrot, so I don't know how I'm gonna dry it, but like that step is next, so yeah.
And it's raining at the moment. So
Yeah, that's true. It's a wet carrot.
Well, at least it won't be dirty. Like you can wash all the dirt
Exactly,
off.
That's true.
So
And it'll be
clean.
like pure carrot.
Clean
Once
carrot.
100% pure organic homegrown carrot.
All right.
Awesome.
And so you continue to head east.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably takes you another hour and a half. And this area is still kind of in this valley as you travel through here. But as these kind of crops and things leave you behind, you don't see much else around. It's just kind of like open grasslands. And it just continues to rain lightly. And you can keep traveling in this direction. It takes another hour and a half. And does anyone do anything while you're walking? Or what do you talk about while you're walking?
I think just keeping an eye out for danger mostly. Anything approaching. But maybe we'll just talk some shit and be like, that was crazy, right? As we walk. So sad we couldn't help them.
Oh, their day will come. Their day will come.
And as you continue to walk through these fields, you actually see what looks like another sort of structure some way ahead. And as you get closer to this, it looks like another building. But you can kind of see it through the rain, and you see it doesn't seem like there's anything moving around this building. And as you get closer, you see things in the ground, like old, like rotten arrows and flint arrowheads, like old spears, and you see also like bones, and you think that maybe there was some kind of conflict here, and as you get closer to this structure, you can see what looks like this some kind of fort or town or something like that with like a sort of an outer wall and some structures on the inner part of it. But it looks like it's been sitting here for some time. It's all like burnt out and like mostly kind of burnt to the ground. It's just this kind of skeletal set of structures here, mostly like overgrown with grass.
Do these so was there skeletons, bones, did you mention?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, you can probably find like a skeleton.
Are they recognizable? What type of animal they were?
They look humanoid.
Oh, humanoid? Okay.
I can identify them, or I can try.
Yeah, you can. You can identify these as. You think that these are wolf-like humanoids. You recognize that they're like canids, similar to yourself, but maybe larger and more like wolves.
Yeah, I'll say that to Vindaros. So maybe like that wolf a little bit from a few days ago, the injured one.
Interesting. These strange lands keep surprising.
Interesting creatures here.
But otherwise, you can continue on. And let me see.
How far are we going today?
So this is probably 6 here. And then this would be 7.5 here. And it's sometime now in the afternoon. And keep in mind also that you can travel more quickly. Although if you do, you would know intuitively that you're less able to sort of keep an eye out for things. You can also travel more slowly. But you don't come across much else of note as you walk along.
How much?
Sorry, go on.
No, go.
I was just going to say, do you think we should just walk until we hit our limit again for the day and try and find somewhere to sleep? Or is there something specific we should be looking out for at this point? What do we reckon?
I think maybe we should walk quickly until we hit our limit, yeah.
But that just means we're maybe a bit more vulnerable ourselves. If everyone's okay with that, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we pick up the pace then.
So if you move faster, you can move probably 7.5 hours. It would still take you like an hour to move another 5 kilometers. So at this point, you're probably still. But you can actually also. You can like kind of jog. Because you're in like clear terrain. Once a day, you can jog, so you can move another 5 kilometers. But you won't be able to pay attention to anything as you're doing that.
Do we reckon it's worth it? If we stay at the ready? And by ready, I mean ready and not retty.
Yeah.
I think so.
Alright. So you begin jogging through here, and as you're jogging, a couple of you notice that there are some birds circling above you, some kind of buzzards or something like that, some carrion that indicate like maybe something has recently died around here. Can everyone give me a perception check? Well, actually, you're not really keeping an eye out. Actually, it's funny because you're jogging, you probably would automatically fail the perception check, I think. So, let me maybe everyone roll a d20. And what order are you jogging in, or are you just jogging side by side?
I think Yao Mei would try and stay up the back.
Yeah, I'm happy to go up front.
So Yao Mei, just give me a d20. Oh yeah, sweet. And who's immediately behind Twig?
If it was Twig at the front,
Yep. I
Yes.
think so.
yeah, I'll go second.
Okay, so Twig, you, as you're kind of looking up at these buzzards circling above, you nearly find yourself like toppling over as you reach this like sudden incline where there's just all this like scree, all these like loose rocks and things, and you kind of slip a little bit and you try to turn around to like warn the others, but Vindaris is like rushing up behind you. And
Hang on a second. You said incline, not
Sorry,
decline.
decline. Fuck.
Oh, it's a decline. Okay.
Decline. It's like some sort of like misunderstanding from my childhood that I just can't shake, like an incline versus decline. It's a decline, and you go stumbling down it.
No.
Give me, Vindaros, a dex save. As you like tumble down this hill. 12. You manage to stable yourself some way down, but you still get like a couple of scrapes and scratches on the way down. So you're just going to take 3 bludgeoning damage as you kind of tumble over and skid down this slope a little bit.
I'm going to be like, guys, watch out!
Wait, so does he like slide down like next to me? Like I just watch him like, oh.
Because you rolled a 15, you don't actually fall down. You kind of manage to stop yourself just in time. But yeah, then you're unable to stop Vindaris, and he kind of goes like past you and like kind of tumbles down the hill. And manages to like kind of grab hold and not like fall all the way down or anything.
Can I make my way down slowly to help him out?
Yep. Yeah, you can kind of help him up, and at this point you're beginning to feel pretty tired and worn out. But it's still only like sometime in the afternoon, starting to get late afternoon. When did you wake up again? Like probably 6:30 again, I think.
Yeah, I reckon it would have been pretty early. I think we were up with the early light.
So you've maybe got like another 5 hours or something like that.
Yeah, 6:30. Can we make a camp in this decline?
Yeah, you can kind of carefully skid down this decline, and there's not much around here actually. It's like mostly this like scree and like rocks and things. I will say, everyone give me a nature check. Oh yeah, nice. So everyone but Retty, you recognize that where there is this kind of erosion or whatever, that some of these rocks appear to be like flint. They appear to be the sort of rock that you could kind of tap, and it has that kind of like sharp sounding sound, and you think you just get like a sense of it, like looking at them, that these might contain some flint. yeah, I guess it'd be like a kind of chalky white or sort of greyish sedimentary rock in amongst all of these other rocks. But there's not much, otherwise, not much like shelter around here. It's mostly kind of barren. But you can definitely set up camp at the base of this hill if that's what you wish to do.
Can I take some of the flint? Or some of the rocks that I think would contain flint?
Yeah, you can take some of these and like crack them open and harvest some flint from them.
Can I also?
All right.
I'd like to also do that.
I've already got a piece of flint on me. Can I maybe add like 2 more?
Yeah, so like overall you can find like probably like 12 pieces of flint. Yeah. Pretty
Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe we just share it evenly between the 2 of us.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. And so you set up camp. Do you do anything else? In these hours you can try to forage or hunt or
Mistletoe looking time.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we'll say ready. We already know that you can identify mistletoe. So give me a perception check if you have a look around. How long are you willing to look for?
How long do we have left in like of daylight?
Probably like of daylight. Maybe another 2 hours.
Like 4 hours in the day.
Yep.
I don't think we're doing anything else that anyone's mentioned urgently, so probably 4 hours, like the whole rest of the day. I mean, you can only do it when it's daylight, I assume, anyway. So.
I might join in that hunt as well.
You can search at night, but it would just be a little bit harder.
We'll go to Vindaros and we'll try and say, I think we could use your keen hearing. But yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, sorry.
Oof.
It's better.
Nice. A 21. You can look around for about 3 hours. Until it starts getting fairly dark. And you do finally find a cluster of trees, and you think that you spot some potentially mistletoe in the branches of these trees, but it's like fairly high up.
Vindaros. Can Vindaros reach them? Would a tall, like this tall sort of figure with a long trunk be able to reach them?
Probably still not tall enough.
No!
You feel like you'd have to like climb the trees.
What if I stood on his shoulders? Could I reach?
Twig, you're up, my friend.
Oh,
What if we just did
Someone
like
said climb?
acrobatics?
Well, actually, Twig, you can you just climb? You have like a climbing speed.
I have a climbing speed. I don't want to deprive someone of an acrobatic feat, though. A performance, perhaps. What's my climb speed? It's like 25.
You look at this tree and you feel like, oh yeah, I can climb up there. No worries.
I could do it in my sleep. Let me at it. What am I getting?
Well, if
is
you're
it the
happy,
yellow thing, or is it the?
It's the mistletoe looking one.
Yeah, which Twig doesn't know what that is.
I know what toes is.
Just get one of each, bring them down here, we'll sort it out later. I'm sure it's fine.
Well,
Okay.
you're able to climb up this tree at Reddy's direction, and you are able to tear off one sprig of mistletoe with like maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 berries on it.
Ooh.
I don't know when the berries... It's winter again, isn't it?
Yeah, mistletoe is a winter
I
thing.
think
That's why
it's-
it's like
yeah.
Christmas themed.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's Christmas coded for a reason.
Could you grab a couple? I might need a few.
I got. Can I go back up and get more, or is this?
Yeah, there's
is
like a
this-
cluster of trees here, so I'll
Single
say you
sprig
can...
of mistletoe.
Seeing as you have like a climbing speed, I'll say that you can harvest some more. You're able to get another
Ooh.
6 sprigs of mistletoe.
Whoa!
That's all the mistletoe an Alkaline could wish for.
You want more? I'll get. Oh. I'm exhausted.
Well, thank you too. This is great.
Nice. Reddy, you've done well for yourself in this session.
Like I say, good few days.
I have
Alright.
a question for Reddy before we move on. Would I have seen him pick up those mysterious mushrooms yesterday?
I think so. They
'Cause
were just
you-
along the side of the road.
But you were walking ahead of me. Behind me. So I wouldn't have necessarily seen you pick them. And have you just did you just put them away straight away, or have you been looking at them at all? Would I have noticed them at any point?
Flaunting them.
I don't think, unless you saw when I was picking them, which I mean, you may have. I assume I went to the side of the road and slowed down for a bit, but
Yeah, but I was already walking ahead of you, I think, if we're going in height order. Since I'm slightly shorter. Okay, that's fine. I was just curious. That's it.
All right. So let's end it there for the session. On the successful mistletoe harvesting. And I'll award you some XP. So I can do it correctly this time. But because you were unable to help the poor Minotaur folk at the village, you'll get a reduced XP for this session.
more.
Well, not a reduced XP, but just there was a potential to earn more
we-
XP, theoretically.
Do we get it back if we destroy them?
In the next session, if you want to turn around and go and...
You have to go back.
No, I shouldn't say a reduced XP. It's just, there could have been more.
Can I ask what we could have done, just out of curiosity, or would that kind of spoil things?
You'll never know. You'll never know. Well, I mean, you had a way to communicate with them, but you didn't want to use the resource, I think. It's probably the main thing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I didn't think we could cast tongues anymore.
No, you still have 2 left, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
Oh wait,
we'd
I
used
thought
them
it
all.
disappeared.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I thought it disappeared the last time.
So it's a
used
page
it.
with it had 6 runes on it, and so as you cast from the rune disappears, but the page has 6 on it. It still says 2 out of 6 charges.
Oh, I think I
okay.
misunderstood. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that the whole paper went dark and the whole thing was done. It couldn't use it anymore.
I mean, I feel bad if I gave you the wrong idea, but I have described it a few times as being a
Yeah.
page with multiple
yeah,
runes.
no, it
on
might
it.
have just been us both misreading.
I think
I think I just I didn't I was like, oh, I must have used them all or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I think we're gonna need it later on.
bummer.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm glad you just used copy.
I agree.
We're gonna need it.
I think we will need it because it's gonna. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are in a
Anyway, we can
hurry
come
as
back
well.
in,
You're trying to rescue these people.
Yeah,
Fuck these
exactly.
guys up. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I still feel a little bit Like I didn't give you the
No,
right
I mean,
indication there.
I should have looked at the actual rune number.
Oh well.
Yeah, no, don't feel bad. I think we probably
Yeah,
we're
I
just
mean,
like too in the moment. We just weren't
Nah.
like,
I'm happy with the result
Yeah.
in the end.
yeah.
Sweet.
I think we still would have made the same choice.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. So where do you want to go in the next session? Are you going to attempt to sort of veer to the southeast and go to Uzun Mizrak? Or are you going to head straight for Khalidin Forest?
I think.
I vote
pretty
Cleveland
much-
Forest.
Yeah. Forest, because we're pretty well managed, I think, resource-wise.
I think the
Or-
only thing I'm concerned about is, do we have enough herbivore rations? Because I'm out completely. I don't have any left. But we've got some meats and things that we can have for the rest of us. So I think it's just herbivore rations that we might be a bit low on at this point. Aside
Well,
from Reddy's scary mushrooms.
So just to maybe clarify, in that time that you have before you can sleep and after you've finished traveling, you can spend that time foraging for as much as you can fit into that time. So you can look for herbivore rations, you can hunt for animals, you can look for spell components as well. So yeah.
And still have enough time to build a camp?
Yep.
Well,
I have a few spare herbivore rations as well. I think 3 or 4. So that's at least one day for both of us.
You can also
Or 2
stay
days,
up.
actually.
You can also stay up late. The way that I think I'll do this exhaustion in terms of like when you go to sleep is that I'm just trying to. I had this written down. I was thinking about it earlier. I don't know where it is, but you can stay awake for some amount of time. Like I think, like basically until the morning. Before you'll like risk exhaustion. I'll have a look at that mechanic wherever it is and clarify it for you. But yeah, so you can also like stay up later and continue to like hunt and search for things, or you can, you know. Yeah, it's
cool.
kind of like I tried to design it so that you are sort of, you have this like block of time that you're not able to do anything in other than like kind of look around and do other activities. You can also like scout the area. You can like look for, you know, signs of activity. You can, yeah, try to get like a lay of the land. Those sorts of things.
Yeah, I think if in your next session, if we make our way towards that road as well, and follow that, what was it, Smorgan's Road north?
Yeah.
They were saying that they'll get in a lot of appearances on the road, like hijacking.
oh, they might try rob us.
Yeah, the old 1-2. Oh no! Don't rob me! I'm just a harmless mastodon walking down the road.
And then it turns into a game of you're not robbing me, I'm robbing you.
Yeah.
Bring my friends back.
Must begin next long rest within 24 hours of when you last woke from a long rest. Yeah. So you can't sleep within 24 hours twice, but you don't have to begin the next long rest until it's like if you get up at 6 a.m., you don't have to rest again until the following 6 a.m. Yeah, if that makes sense. But yeah. Thanks for playing, everyone.
That was really fun.
Thank you.
I'll
Yeah,
run another
thank you.
session next Thursday.
You.